Coming up on Now You Made It Awkward podcast.
It's like, oh, now you're going to tell me that in the middle of this war zone? We're literally fighting for our lives. You're going to tell me you're pregnant? And then they immediately go to banging. Like, immediately. Like, the first thing that...
Daydream's back.
Yeah, so literally, it's so ridiculous because, like, they skip all the bases. Like, for the most part. Like... Ellie was getting down there like she thought her finger was a coat hanger.
Down like seventh base, just getting it, huh?
Yeah, straight to second base, through the jeans. It's just like, oh my God. Yeah, Chad?
Yeah, might give it a good go, but I don't think he's gonna.
Yeah. You know, you're not rushing it one at a time. You're rushing it all at once.
Yeah.
At best.
Oh, so like Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Neo gorilla does not have a signpost to swing at you.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. We missed you.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.
So yesterday was my mother's turn to take a fall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's been having
Happy
trouble.
Mother's Day.
Right?
Yeah.
She's been having trouble with her diabetes, hadn't been managing it properly.
Okay.
And she said yesterday her dad called and said her leg just stopped working. Went out from underneath her.
Yeah.
He had to haul ass home from work a little early, and she was on the floor until he got there.
Damn. That's a lot like what happened with Shaun's mom.
Yeah.
Well,
That
Dad's
was-
fallen twice since the one I told you about.
So,
Yeah.
so mom and dad didn't make it. I still made smash burgers. Called my brother-in-law, and
Call those
they all
mom
come out.
burgers.
But man, they were good.
Sorry. Bad joke, I think.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I don't know.
But yeah, some of the single best hamburgers I think I've ever made.
Okay.
Single patties?
Doubles.
Okay. Did double smash.
Double smash.
I'm trying to get my hat to sit right.
Large ice cream scoop.
Yeah.
Flat.
I know how to,
Oh,
I know
yeah,
how to
so
make a smash a burger. Yeah, we did Mother's Day yesterday too. I was telling Chad about it a little bit. We did my mom's house. Oh boy. So Jessica already wanted Mexican food. So, or not Mexican food, sorry, Chinese food. Sorry, I get those mixed up for some reason. So we grabbed some wings walk and then headed over there because mom hadn't had Chinese food in a long time. She keeps bringing it up. So I said, fuck it, let's get something. So we did it family style, just got a bunch of different stuff to split. And it was good, but oh my God, she just kept ranting about my dad, all these other things, and he's looking worse and worse. He quit shaving himself, so like his beard is longer than I've ever seen it. And he's just looking worse and more frail, and his left eyelid is getting lower, like drooping. I'm like, that's not normal. But also, as I was telling Chad, apparently he had recently lost his hearing aids again. So before we left, Jessica and I went on an Easter egg hunt to find the damn things, and there's only a couple places it could have been. I looked in one that I thought for sure would be there, and in fact I did miss it. It was one of the ones he was missing was in the box of batteries for the hearing aids, which that tracks.
At least
right?
it wasn't in like the freezer or something.
No. But the other one, he
I
said,
had my keys there once.
so, yeah. Well, that was drunk you. But he said he had put it in his nightstand like normal when he took it off. So I figured it's got to be either in the nightstand, near the nightstand, or under his bed. And that's where it ended up being. And Jessica got down there on the floor and actually got that. I was looking on one side of the bed. She was looking on the other. She got to it first. So, but the funny part is that wasn't even the one he had just lost. It was an older one. So we have now an unmatching set of hearing aids that have both been missing for a while, and we still don't know where the other ones went because he just misplaces them. He throws them away and doesn't even know it, or he's
Oh, gosh.
But apparently he's also been rearranging stuff and moving stuff in the middle of the night for no reason. Like he took all my mom's stuff out of her old side of the bed. She doesn't sleep with him anymore, but she took everything off of her nightstand, moved it over to his side, and vice versa for no reason in the middle of the night. It's part of his dementia. He just starts sundowning and moving stuff around when he wants.
Just moves all of her stuff out.
Well, he's been rearranging his own stuff too. I did find 3 of his crossword pens in his seat. So I was thinking maybe he dropped one that fell down in the seat of his recliner, but did not. But I found a bunch of his pens that were missing. That's fun. So either way, that was fun for us to have Mother's Day. If we did not get a chance to talk to her moms, I feel like we probably should have, but
You had your own version of scavenger hunt then.
Yeah, pretty much.
For everything.
What'd y'all end up doing?
Or my parents.
I was like, did your mom have any issues? It's like, he's got a fall. I've got dementia.
I
What did
figured
you
y'all
have?
were over there. We were thinking about calling you and having you come help eat burgers, but I was like, nah, he's with his mom.
Yeah, we were over there, but and my sister, one of my sisters showed up. They did breakfast with them in the morning.
Nice.
They left before we got there for lunch because they needed to do some stuff. My other sister, of course, they were at another event going on.
Yeah.
So they didn't get a chance to come up. We had chicken ready for them. I did my own version of barbecue sauce.
Yes, you brought some for us.
We will try.
So it is a little different from before, but it's my first try.
It tastes
So,
nice.
appreciate it. But yeah, we just stayed there the whole time.
Yeah.
Didn't do a whole lot. No, Mom didn't fall or anything.
Thank God. That's good. Look, hey, look.
Neither did your dad.
No, but he has 2 times prior at the house, just picking up stuff, and you just kept
He
going.
does have falling down syndrome.
Yes, he does.
I didn't realize how that would actually sound when it came out of my mouth, but it is what it is.
Or was he falling in reverse?
You know, I've never actually listened to that band.
Not bad.
I've heard that.
Nice
but
and
I just-
angry.
Nice and angry.
Yeah.
No, I see a lot of
I dig it.
I see a lot of reactors check them out. I just haven't never done it myself.
Yeah, the popular month store thing is it's a good little angry song.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's good.
That's fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Good way to wake up.
You would have wake up. Is it angry?
Good way to wake up. Very, very angry music, huh? How about that? So you know what's funny about Mother's Day is that on Mother's Day we had a recap of the Last of Us episode where Ellie declared that she's going to be a dad. So on the latest season of The Last of Us, since they're going through the second game now, there's a pregnancy that happens with her female life partner, as they have only just recently discovered they want to, match each other's carpets. Either way. So
What's The Last of Us?
The Last of Us. It's a show about zombies that isn't hard zombies.
Okay.
They're mushroom zombies.
Mushroom zombies.
Yes.
So it's a viral fungus.
Yes.
Nice.
That passes from insects to humans. And
Ooh,
then
that's
takes-
tough to combat.
And then takes off the entire world. Yes. So really, really good video game, like critically acclaimed and all that, both games. But the second game was hated due to some of the impact, no spoilers, from one character to another. The new character comes in to literally displace the old character and causes bad things to happen. Season 1 was the first game. Season 2 is now following the second game. But the second game is significantly longer from what I've seen, so they're probably going to make it 3 seasons. However, because Ellie is a lesbian in the show, she's the main character, she finds in this new city that they're living in another young lady around about her age who is with her friend Jesse, male, and then suddenly decides to start showing affection in the way of lip touchings in public. And like, oh, I didn't know you swung that way. She's like, I'm not entirely certain I do. So now there's a lot of will they, won't they. That happened in the game. But unfortunately, in the game, they actually finally declare each other and hook up.
Then there's other
on a
lip
mission.
touchings.
Huh? What?
Then there's other lip touchings.
Yes, other lip touchings. Well, in this case, not lip, but in
I don't want to know now.
no, in the show, no. Here's what's funny. So this is the difference between the show and the game because there are differences. They move where they hook up for the first time. So in the game, they hook up on the mission that starts the game, and the same mission that starts the season. But they change who they're each with, so that hookup doesn't happen earlier in the story. It happens much later in the story when they're on a completely different tangential mission. And that's also whenever Ellie finds out that Dina is pregnant with her ex-boyfriend's child. It's like, oh, now you're going to tell me that in the middle of this war zone where we're literally fighting for our lives, you're going to tell me you're pregnant? And then they immediately go to banging. Immediately. The first thing that
Daydream's back.
yeah, so literally it's so ridiculous because they skip all the bases. For the most part. Ellie was getting down there she thought her finger was a coat hanger.
You're down
It's fucking
seventh
ridiculous.
base, just getting it, huh?
Yeah, straight to second base, through the jeans. It's just oh my God. And then after they're done with that and they're hanging out, she's like, so you are going to be pregnant? He's like, yeah. And she's like, I always had this vision. I love this always thing. They've only been hanging out for like a few months between seasons. And they just finally hooked up, and now they're talking like they've been together for fucking years. It's like, oh, I always thought about you, me, raising a kid together, you know, in a peaceful spot. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why? And then she's like, so I'm going to be a dad. And like, it's like, no. That's not how this works, dumbass.
Babies don't come from kissing.
No. But also, women can't be dads. Not literally, anyways.
Yeah.
You can have the figurative types, you know, where like Jessica had a dad, but he passed away, and she was raised by her mom and then her mom's lover / her godmother. So Jessica was raised by lesbians, but she did have a dad, effectively, you know, for some of her life. And, you know, Sissy, her godmother, is very masculine for a lesbian, but not remotely a father figure. Would never say that. But we make the joke sometimes that they'll swap back and forth on who gets Mother's Day, who gets Father's Day, like between the two of her moms. But in this case, it was just stupid, and a lot of people are mad at it because that didn't happen in the game. That line did not happen in the game. The conversation did, but I'm going to be a dad.
See, now you know how I felt about Dune.
Yeah, but it's different because with Dune, you have multiple continuities. You've got multiple times that the story's been told, so there's no one singular source
That's
anymore.
the book.
Yeah.
The book, you fucking idiot.
No, because you can take the book and write it your own way. But when you have a singular source,
you write it the way Frank Hubert wrote it.
Well, here's the other thing. A book is different.
Fucking idiot.
A book is different from a video medium. Because,
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in a book, you have to imagine all the things that are being told to you. In a visual medium, it's shown to you.
Yeah,
You know what the
it's so much
characters...
depiction there.
You know what the characters look like. You know what the motivations look like. You know what all the details are of these things. Not only is the problem with Bella Ramsey, personally. So, if you don't know who Bella Ramsey is, she was you remember in Game of Thrones with the Bear Island girl? The tiny little queen of bears? Like, she was tough as shit. She tried to fight the fucking giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, her. So, she, in between Game of Thrones and this series, she declared herself non-binary.
You're talking about the little chick in charge, right?
Yes.
The tiny little, like, 12-year-old
Yes.
kicking ass?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So that's her.
Yeah.
And so she still looks like a 12-year-old, even though she's supposed to be playing a 22-year-old, which is one part of the problem, because between seasons, there's a 5-year gap. She looks no older than she did in season 1 because Bella Ramsey still looks like a 12-year-old. That's one problem. The new character that's introduced for the season, the antagonist, Abby.
You mean other than the zombies?
Yeah, the zombies are not the antagonist. They're the inciting incident. That's the way it is. Because just like The Walking Dead, it's humans versus human drama that matter more. Because once you've got to the point where you can survive the zombies, it's surviving the humans that's the problem. So Abby, the new character in season 2, the actress playing her is fucking fantastic. Fucking fantastic young actress. Hard to say that.
Wow.
Problem is, she was originally supposed to be Ellie. When The Last of Us was supposed to be a movie.
So this is all game nerd problems,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, but no, hold on. This goes along with like.
Yeah, I've never watched it, so I have no.
Yeah.
I've never played
It's
it, never watched
it's good. It's worth watching.
If it's not, 15 or 20 years old, I'm probably not going to watch it.
So you'll watch it when you're 50. So the thing is, the actress who's playing Abby was originally cast to play Ellie when it was going to be a movie series, not a TV series. Then several years went by, that got set to the side, and it got sold to HBO to be a TV series. Then they said she was too old to play young Ellie. It's like, even though she literally looks and sounds the part. So now she's come in to play the antagonist who doesn't look like Ellie. And the actress we have playing Ellie played both younger and older, despite not looking any older or acting any older, and doesn't look like the character at all. Like, once again, we're going by a visual medium. We know what Ellie should look like. Mm-hmm. We brought in a person who looks nothing like her. Nothing. Hair color, eye color, face shape, nothing. Nothing looks like her. And then you bring in an actress who looks exactly like the character, who was meant to play the character, and is now playing the antagonist to that character instead. So that's a pain in the dick. And then you got a stupid-ass fucking person who wrote in, I'm going to be a dad.
So there's a bunch of angry middle-aged men.
Well, middle age, young age, whatever. But either way, the point is, just like you with your Dune problems, this is a problem with.
But it's a fucking book.
A book doesn't matter. Book doesn't matter versus TV show versus whatever. Whatever the starting point was, there is no book for The Last of Us. There's just
No, there wasn't. That's why there's no canon. That's why they're doing whatever they want.
the canon is whatever the original source is. Mm-hmm. But when you have multiple original sources, then everything's canon to itself.
Yeah.
It's a problem when you do retellings. It's like, but I will say that for the most part, except for those weird continuity errors, season 2 is following the game, like almost shot for shot, except for the fact they changed where 2 characters were when a major event happened, and that fucked up the flow of how connections are supposed to be made. So like Ellie and Dina were supposed to be together so that they would explore their relationship and hook up when this other thing happened. Instead, they flipped where those characters were and who they were with, which changed the rest of it and how the relationship suddenly accelerates after finger banging. It's like, seriously, that's what it came down to. It's like, oh, we're together now. We're going to act like we've been together for fucking months.
So they were kind of a pull start, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. If they had done that scene, which would have been months prior, it would make sense to have that interaction. It's almost like they shot the later scene without realizing they fucked up the first scene, you know, when they would have hooked up and really connected. But no, they fucked that up, and then there's months of development that technically never happened, and then you just suddenly jump into, oh, hey, we're a couple now, and we're going to live together forever and raise this baby.
Yeah.
Because we just decided to hook up just now. Right.
Right.
Right. Oh, I forgot to mute my watch. I will do so. Here we go. Either way. So that's just that whole thing, but I thought it was funny that, like, literally, like,
on Mother's
leading
Day,
up
she
to
says,
Mother's
I'm going to
Day,
be a dad.
I'm going to be a dad, a clear female. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and if she hadn't gone off on this crazy non-binary nonsense, and now Pedro Pascal coming out and talking shit on the internet about the UK defining what a woman is, you know, then it's a whole fucking thing. It's like, come on, man. Just play a character and shut your
Just
fucking
be
face.
entertaining. Shut up.
Yeah, just be entertaining and shut the fuck up. All right. So, guys, welcome back to the Now You Made It Awkward podcast, episode 143. And we are back in the cave, and we're back at full strength. We're no longer on scene without each other. And even before that, we were on somebody. So, yeah, it's been 3 weeks since we have all been together. You're right. But either way, I am Shoki, and you can follow me at all the Shoki-related links down below, whether that's Shoki Review, Shoki Reviews 2, or the Doesn't Have to Make Sense live stream channel. And make sure you give this channel here on YouTube or even Rumble a nice like and subscribe. And if you want to leave any comments down below, that'd be great, too. We do have some to go over this week. I need to remember to pull those up before we get going too far. And, of course, if you want the full uncut video version of this podcast, you can do so at the Shoki Reviews Patreon, which is linked down below. And for as little as $5 a month, you can get access to just this show and all the shenanigans behind the scenes, or in the extended cuts of any episode, or even little videos like I did when we were at Bartlett's last week. That didn't go up for everybody. That was only on the Patreon. And, of course, with me today is the Jefe.
Hey.
Back and not made out of snot.
Yeah, I feel decent. I'm moderately caffeinated.
Medicated?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Caffeinated. And you can follow him at the Grounded and Grumpy.
Yep, Grounded and Grumpy.
And back over in his normal seat, no longer with Jefe looming overhead, we have the Chato, proprietor of C4 Graphics.
Sir.
Over in the New Waverly's. You'll see him for any of your signage or printing needs, by all means. So welcome back. We missed you last time.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now we're going over.
I know you had
too,
obligations and other things to do, and we understand.
All good.
Yep.
We terrorized the locals. Had a good time.
Oh.
Yep.
The one local.
Well, the one local. we terrorized the one local, Megan. Shout out to Megan.
She took a minute, but she warmed up to that microphone and jumped in. We had a good time.
Indeed, we did. And Jefe, where can they find us and contact us if they want?
You can email us at nowyoumade.awkwardmail@gmail.com. You can also follow our Facebook page, Now You Made It Awkward Podcast, where you can leave us a voice message or a written message, just as our buddy Shaun does.
All right, so let me go check out the Shaun question. Actually, there might be a little. I'm gonna have to adjust the audio for these new headphones because I had no idea what they would sound like.
Why, it's a little loud?
No, it's not loud. It just sounds weird because I'm so used to the old ones. I gotta make an adjustment Because also I have no idea what it export will sound like. Okay, so let's go see what Shaun
Don't know
said.
what things are.
I do not know what things are. So we'll do Shaun's message, and then we will go to the comments from the last couple weeks. All right. So Shaun's got.
Question for the pod. Hey, who wins? 1 full-grown silverback gorilla or 100 Jefes? Also, who wins? 100 pissed-off chihuahuas or 1 mailman?
I've already had this discussion with Shaun, so I know the answers to at least the first one. So, opinions, thoughts
Depends.
on? You're the Jefe.
How armed am I?
Yeah, exactly.
You're
What do
just
guys-
you, no
just
weapons.
Nothing.
Not even claws, no knives.
Hand-to-hand combat with a silverback gorilla, 100 of you.
Yeah, that's gone, destroyed.
What is?
The freaking gorillas are just going to run over all the Jefes.
It's 1 gorilla versus 100.
Oh, one gorilla.
Yes.
Okay, we may take like a 80% loss.
Yeah. Chad?
Yeah,
Thoughts?
might give it a good go, but I don't think he's gonna. Is he gonna? Yeah.
So I absolutely believe that 100 humans, 100 average males could kill 1 silverback gorilla
Yeah.
with no weapons. There's no way they couldn't.
Yeah, I think Jefes would, like I said, 80% loss.
I don't even think it'd be that. I think it'd barely be 20. I think it would be maybe 20 at best, and that's with casualties. Because if you rush all at once, it doesn't have a chance. It can swing, but as soon as you got its arms, like the legs aren't really going to be much of a problem. If you get the arms disabled, you get somebody around the neck, and you keep those teeth away from people, you could choke it the fuck out, and you could stomp it to death.
That's also how many pounds of Jefe?
Yeah, you weigh almost as much as an average silverback.
No.
They got about 100 pounds on you there.
Yeah, they're about 450 or so.
A big one is 450. Yeah. So at your heaviest, you were not that far away.
Damn.
I mean, I'm being fair, am I not?
You are.
At your heaviest, you weren't. You were about the average weight of the thing.
I was 378 at my head.
Yeah, so he was damn near 380. He was not that far from an average silverback. So you're telling me that
But he doesn't like to be in that perspective, though.
but no, it's true. But I mean, like if it was just us 3, no, we're dead. That's not a problem.
At that point, I was a friggin' hazel-eyed simian.
Yeah. So exactly. But the other thing is, like, they are really strong, but they also don't like confrontation. They're more about aggression to dispel anything. They can handle shit, and they will crush you and bite through your fucking neck and head and arm if they can.
Yeah.
But if you disable the arm, say you get 2 dudes on each arm, and you get at least 1 dude around the neck in a chokehold,
Yeah, remove the head, and the body will fall.
the body will fall. The legs they're stubby little legs. They're not going to do a whole lot. And then you have 50 dudes stomp the shit out of it.
Just a dog pile.
Just dogpile on it, and it's going down. But I mean, like I said, even if you do it slowly, it might take out 20% with casualties, probably 10% death easy. You know, you're not rushing it one at a time. You're rushing it all at once.
Yeah.
At best.
Oh, so like Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Neo gorilla does not have a signpost to swing at you.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, we missed you. But no. And what was his other question? 100 chihuahuas and 1 mailman?
Yeah. Mailman's toast.
Mailman's going to be bit to shit. However, he can kick a lot of chihuahuas.
Embody Michael Flatley and just go to river dancing.
River dancing. Yeah. Seriously. Like if he's got some shit kickers on,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Those chihuahuas are not going to last very long.
That's shit kickers.
Yeah, because I mean, realistically, if he's got at least like my combat boots,
Well,
I
even
wear for
Uggs
work.
with squeakies in them, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be funny. But I mean, like realistically, they're not taking him down. They're nipping at his fucking ankles at best. They're chihuahuas.
Yeah.
They might get to the back of their knees, but they're not getting through his skin for the most part.
As long as he doesn't fall stepping on him. or
Is he
anything like
wearing
that, it's
pants? If he's wearing pants, they're not doing
There's
a lot
the thing. I've seen Chihuahuas draw a good bit of blood.
when they can get to skin.
Yeah.
If they're biting through normal pants,
Yeah, if you got snake boots on, go to town.
yeah. If you've got like if you just wear normal like fucking hiking boots or combat boots like I wear for work, they're not biting through that, and you can kick the fuck out of them. If you got steel toes on,
Until you hear Princess Balls.
yes. But once again, said Chihuahua, and also Chihuahuas are stupid. They're not. I mean, their brains are the size of a fucking green bean. You know. It's like they're not going to fucking get through anything.
My mother always said there's a reason God made Chihuahua small. Because could you imagine a 100-pound Chihuahua? It'd be one of the most terrifying things on the planet.
Well, actually, their attitude might change. Unless it's just actually, no, 100-pound Chihuahua, same size, just super fat. Like just a ball. Like
that's what
like Chihuahua the
That's
Hut.
what there's a breed in Mexico called a Xolo.
Yeah.
It's a giant standard Mexican hairless. They're about 50-something pounds.
Standard. Like there's a standard.
I think that's a giant Chihuahua.
Demon dog.
They're demons.
They kind of look like Anubis.
Yeah, that's
we
one of the
talked
dogs
about 'em.
I would
I
love
think
to
they're
have.
cool.
They're freaking cool.
We have talked about
Except
them.
you'd have to utter the phrase, "Give me a minute, I need to oil my dog."
They make it a little awkward, I think, with anybody that's around.
I just realized Chad's camera was still really zoomed in. I just
Poor guy, he'd be named Nutsack or something.
yeah. Scrotum.
Scrotum.
Kill.
Yeah.
Scrotum. I barely know him. Either way, no, I think that 100%.
He'd be named Bobby.
Yeah.
His balls.
Well, the other thing is, once you kick a Chihuahua, the other ones will probably get more scared. Now, if you're saying that they stay at maximum aggression.
Hence the simulators and all that we've seen that do similar.
Yeah,
it's max aggression on both sides nonstop until
Yeah,
everything.
and you're talking about a pissed off mailman who probably has been underpaid all this time. He was denied his vacation. The union didn't have his back on that one time, and it's fucking been pissed off for the last 5 years.
he can finally go postal on
he literally
something.
goes postal.
I've been waiting.
So, in my job, we get around a lot. We do deal with a lot of dogs because we do have to sort of semi-trespass onto people's yards. And there was one of our guys, he was an ex-military dude, and he hated dogs. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what his particular trauma was, but he legit stomped a dog to death in front of its owner while it was on a leash because it came at him.
That's a write-up.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, he stepped out of the truck. The dog was... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm combining two separate stories. One dude ran over a dog that was being walked on a leash. The other guy stomped the dog to death because he won. But it was a small dog. If one normal average like military guy, not even like he would have been in his late 30s when I knew him. If he could stomp a small dog to death, I mean your legs would get tired, but the Chihuahuas would eventually run out.
Yeah,
because you're either kicking them really hard and they're being footballs, or you're stomping their stupid little heads. Okay, yeah. So imagine you grab a couple of them by the fucking legs and you start swinging them as fucking Chihuahua chucks or non-Chihuahuas. You start doing that. I think that you got some ability to defend yourself. So I think now the question is, would 100 Chihuahuas beat the Silverback? Let us know in the comments. Don't answer. I want the commenters.
Well, there's also the old 10,000 rats versus one human.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That human's gone in that.
10,000 rats?
Yeah.
I mean, 1,000 of anything is probably going to kill the one other thing.
Right.
1,000 rats could kill a fucking elephant. 10,000 alone. So I got to scroll through comments here. Let's see here. What?
No, I was just kind of curious about whether the biggest Chihuahua and everything is.
Oh.
So in terms of size and weight, is typically a deer head Chihuahua, so which can weigh up to 10 to 12 pounds. So yeah, there's no. It still doesn't. That's it.
We had one. My dad bought one in '99, and it turned out to be one of the smartest, best little dogs we've ever had. As I went to training them and taught them all kinds of tricks and toys, and just a cool little critter.
Chihuahuas are stupid. I hate them all. All right. Either way, so comments. We have comments. So one that I apparently missed from like a month ago on the Deja Vu All Over Again episode 133. Decon versus the World says, "Hell yeah." I don't know what he said. Hell yeah.
Yeah, right back at you, brother.
Hell yeah. All right. Don't know who that was, but okay. So on the Angry Cops versus Predators episode, that's where we first talked about Angry Cops. You weren't here.
I missed that one.
Jefe was here though. He was a dick. Thank God he's back in the kitchen where he belongs. Stephen Clark says, y'all should send Rich and the Unsub Boys that thumbnail. They'll love it. Okay, because that was the where I did the AI literally like a bald cop versus a predator.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which took me a while to get the right version that looked close enough to Rich. And I said, well, I mean, I posted it everywhere, so they'll see it. He's like, they're tagged and everything. And then on where I actually clipped just us talking about it, that was Angry Cops versus BPS. SBQ Dawn says, you need to hear the song written in support of Detective High. Just search We Stand with Angry Cops, We Are Angry. Protest metal anthem. It's awesome.
Did you?
No.
Okay.
Should we? For funsies?
Yeah, sure.
I have YouTube pulled up right here. Conveniently. Let me go see here. No, I didn't even know there was a song, but of course there would be. Do I have to Google it, or is it going to be in the YouTubes here? Okay. We stand with angry. Can't type angry cops. We are angry right there. Protest metal anthem.
Nice.
3 minutes. Good Lord. Okay. Let's see.
We'll listen to a little. We'll get the gist.
Yeah. I assume it's like an AI song. We'll see.
And
oh, this is from Warrior Shaman SFMF Music. Okay. Everybody can hear.
They failed the children, turned a blind eye. One man spoke up. His name is I. We are angry. Another headline, a child denied. Protection gone, this cannot slide. Cameras off, reports erased, while pain got buried and guilt replaced. No justice came, no voice was heard, just silence wrapped in legal words. One man spoke, put
Nice.
a face to the name, and they came quick to shift the blame. We got your back, AC. You failed the kids, you broke the vow, you hid the truth, we see it now. It was wrong and you tried to spin unsupport just for the win.
That's not bad. I like it.
hell yeah.
We are angry.
Any comments? Let's see if they even said. Mr. Tire Sheridan. Nice. You broke the vow. Nice. Okay. I was seeing if any of the actual guys had seen it. They might have seen it, but no, I don't see any comments from Angry Cops or anybody yet. But we do have a slight update, actually, on the situation.
Yeah.
So the guy, so apparently, as if you've been following it at all, which I'm, trying to check in every other day or so with the Angry Cop situation, the first guy that he talked about, the one that tried to kidnap the kid, apparently, well, one, they only charged him with a misdemeanor initially, like somehow just misdemeanor or something or other. But after the podcast came out, oh, look, suddenly some more charges cropped up.
There you go.
Isn't that weird? By the way, that only happened this February. Mm-hmm. That wasn't long ago. So,
Not the original incident?
the original incident
Okay.
was this year. All right, so I'm going to pull this up over here. And, guys, let me see if I can get the video. Give me a second here. There we go. All right. All right, guys, so this is over on the WKBW TV Buffalo channel. It's from 4 days ago.
I'm Maki Becker at Erie County Court. Shane Cronin, a 30-year-old Illinois man, was in court Wednesday. He's charged with attempted kidnapping of a child at the Charles R. Drew Science Magnet School in Buffalo back in February.
Next matter before the court is the people of the state of New York versus Shane Cronin.
Police say that on February
Look at that guy.
11th, Cronin entered the K-8 grade school through a shared door with the Buffalo Museum of Science. According to the district attorney's office, he approached two children in a hallway and allegedly tried to lure and abduct one of those students. When an assistant principal told him to leave, Cronin allegedly punched her and shoved her to the ground.
So there's more to it than we
The
even
grand
knew.
jury delivered a 5-count indictment against him.
Count 1, attempted kidnapping in the second degree.
He's also now charged with attempted luring a child, burglary, attempted assault, and endangering the welfare of a child. He's been held without bail since the incident. DA Michael Caine said in a statement that additional charges may be filed in this case. With security and safety in the schools in the news, we're learning that the
Just
Buffalo
in the
Public
news,
Schools
right?
at this point does not have an agreement with the Buffalo Police Department for school resource officers, also known as SROs. Now, we reached out to City Hall about that, and this is what they had to say. There's no holdup. It is currently under review by the new Buffalo Police Department leadership. We'll keep you updated on that. Maki Becker, 7 News, Buffalo.
So, some good news there. That at least this one case is proceeding, and it looks like they might be bringing more charges against him because they only charged him with one count but there were 2 children involved, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if only the one kind of went with him, which would have been the young female, whatever happened with the boy, maybe there'll be more charges brought there. So other things that have come up as of the latest unsub. So that was back early May, a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, actually, last Monday. Nick the fat electrician, has interviewed a teacher who saw a lot of shit and spoke out now, giving Nick a specific interview about things that she's seen, witnessed, and or buried. And then even talked to some other people who have seen or have involved things. So Unsub is going so far to do the job. As
they went from a bunch of dudes goofing off, drinking and raising hell to, hey, we don't like this shit, when it's turning into investigational journalism.
Yeah. Nick has a binder.
Yeah.
He says it's like the most terrifying sound is the printer in his office, because the more it goes, he keeps running out of paper and running out of ink because he's printing out so much shit, and he is massively organized. So they put out a call online to anybody who might know some shit and said, hey, write into this particular email, and it was takethehighroad@gmail.com, and that's high with spelled HY. And so, guys, if you have, I'll put that here on the screen. So if you know anything about the Buffalo school system, by chance, that's the email, you can contact them. It'll also be in the description down below. But he said people speaking out now against the things that they've heard. And even Rich did some updates. They did an emergency podcast over the internet a couple weeks ago as well. So he updated a few more things, told a couple more stories that since they had closed, he could actually discuss. There's some horrible shit happening out there. And even to the point, my buddy Tyler texted me this morning because he's listening to that podcast. And he said, hey, this reminds me that at my wife's school, a body was discovered. And they basically told the teachers, hey, don't talk to any press about this or anything. They sent out a mass email about everything. Do not talk to the cops. Do not give any information or anything else like that. But half of them had no idea what was going on. They didn't even know a body had been discovered.
That's the quickest way to get everybody to know about it.
Yeah, right. Streisand effect.
Yeah.
Hey, don't look at this. Don't look at what? What am I not supposed to look at, Terry? So I think he said that was like a rape and a murder, but they don't know if the body was dumped there, if it all happened there, stuff like that. But the body was found at the school, whatever school that might be. And basically they did a minor cover up. Yes, it was investigated and stuff, but they told the teachers, hey, don't fucking say anything to anybody. You know nothing about nothing. Cops start asking questions. Don't tell them anything. Be like, well, what if I literally have nothing to tell? So I guess it just really brings up.
Now I'm going to learn something.
And so, and the thing is, we know, you and I, and I'm sure you as well, know some current teachers or administrators in local schools.
Yes.
And I've previously wanted to have them come on just to talk about difficulties in their job. And I was going to leave them anonymous, basically, cover their face, not use real names and stuff. But now it makes me wonder. It's like, is it so bad that even people that you and I know personally, who are teachers or in the system, know some shit has happened and haven't been able to talk about it?
See, I'll try to catch my mom offline and see if she remembers anything.
Yeah,
she was been a teacher since before I was born.
But the question, when did she retire?
Like 15 years ago.
Yeah, since the turn of the millennium.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's gotten more prevalent now,
I know a few teachers now that go through issues and everything too. So
yeah,
I could probably get a hold of them if you want some.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point though, is it safe for them to talk and say
that's why I would keep That's why I would keep their identities a secret. Yep. I can fuck with voice modifiers if I have to. That's not a big deal to me. I wouldn't. And the people I wanted to have on, like I said, it's good friends of ours that we know, and like they even said, it's like, yeah, but if I fucking say anything wrong, they'll fucking can me.
Yep.
It's like, but they're talking about just not even like this subject, like any subject, like. But it's like, okay, but if you express the idea that, okay, maybe classrooms are overloaded or you're not getting funding you need to actually do things right for your students, or that, like, say, the cafeterias are slinging rotten food or something. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know that for a fact. Just throwing out other
That's
things.
not rotten. It's just overly processed and it's garbage.
It is garbage. Yes. Though some of that has changed just depending on the district or the schools themselves. But either way, no, I just wanted to have teachers come on. But now in this case, and very literally in this case, I would love to have any teachers on who have any expertise, even if they're an ex-teacher and they know some shit. I would love that, By the way, I forgot there was one more comment. It was from the same person, SBQ Dawn, corrected me when we were talking about Shrek. Snow White was in Shrek. Yes. She was part of Fiona's gang of princesses who were fighting.
Exactly.
So Snow White, in her younger form, still existed at the same time that Farquaad did. So Snow White can't be Farquaad's mom, unless you had him super young. But actually, no, because in the story, Snow White is like 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe. She just got this little fucking dick. But then again, he would actually be right to rule, so I don't know why it would be an issue. It's like he should be the prince, right? So there shouldn't be a problem with him ruling. Is it warm in here to you guys?
No.
I'm warm for whatever reason.
I'm about neutral.
Okay. By the way, I'm having this new beer from Martin House.
Oh, Dinotopia Ale.
No. Tree Stars.
Okay, there you go.
It's Tree Stars IPA. It's a hazy IPA. It's actually pretty good. But a 10% hazy IPA.
Wow.
Yeah. Nice.
That might be why you're a little warm.
Could be. Or maybe I think these are like far more insulated than those headphones. Like my ears feel hot.
No, the smoke can't get out.
Yeah. It's kind of true. Kind of true. All right. So what else we got on the docket here? I got notes galore for myself. But no, I just thought we needed to have that update to that for sure. Oh, yes. So back to our normal kind of bullshit because we haven't had a normal week. We didn't really have a normal week last week. We did Star Wars Day, which was a lot of fun. I feel so bad you missed the Star Wars trivia. It was a lot of fun.
That sucked.
Yeah, we didn't get
once again, I got to making myself laugh with horribly inappropriate things.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
What's changed?
Yeah, that hasn't changed. There was no inappropriate Google searches, though. But I was.
No, but horribly inappropriate names.
True. Yeah, what was Obi-Wan Kenobi known as on Tatooine? And then he brings up Mark Twain, and I'm just like, you could have just called him Jim. It's like some horrible racist slur for Ben Kenobi. Either way, you guys.
N-word Jim Kenobi.
N-word Jim Kenobi. Yeah, I don't know why he said that. Either way. Yeah, Jefe didn't say that.
Because it popped into my head and made me giggle.
Yeah, one of the dumbest things. Okay, so back to normal. I was going to say, I was actually thoroughly surprised by your Star Wars knowledge because you usually don't watch or remember anything.
I told you I'd surprise you.
Yeah, but then there was a lot of shit you didn't know.
That was like...
But you're only barely into The Mandalorian, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you.
So I got the first 6, and then after that, I'm nothing.
Yeah, so you're good there. But either way, so I've been watching Andor Season 2. Not Indoor, Andor.
Andor what?
Yes. So Season 2 had a very slow burn. I think there's still 3 more episodes. I could be wrong. If they ended where they ended in Episode 9, I don't think anybody would be upset. But it's supposed to roll all the way to the start of Rogue One. But holy shit, Episodes 7, 8, 9... some of the best fucking Star Wars content that exists.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that came out last week after we recorded that episode, and I was already saying it was already pretty good, but slow burn. Andor Season 1 was also a slow burn. Most people dropped out at Episode 3. 4 was the turnaround, and then 5 was the hook.
Was it like slow burnish like Dune Prophecy?
Yes.
Okay.
But
that drags.
So here's the thing. It is a slow story, and it's one reason that our good friend Shaun has a problem watching slow, well thought out stories. He wants action. He wants stupid, brainless flicks.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was last night.
Yes, but then you also like Dune. So, I mean,
yeah,
that's the exact opposite. That is the slowest story ever.
Some days when brain's not braining, you want stupid, short, and funny.
I'll tell you what, The Hobbits left out starting Frank Herbert's Dune and still hadn't finished the entire story by the time they returned the ring.
Right.
Yeah, that's how long that fucking story is. Either way, but the point is, Andor, like a lot of people were criticizing the early episodes, even me. I said, like, why did we do this shit in episode 2? And then it makes they actually, by the time they get to episode 8, you understand why they did everything beforehand. It was like they're showing you the galaxy and the way things are broken, even within the rebellion. And then by the time they get to episode 8, which is a fucking tragedy of a masterpiece of fucking TV, and then episode 9, which once again time skips that's the first time they did a 2-episode time skip. So they went 2 episodes that were back to back roughly at the same time, and then they did a year jump on the next one in the trilogy. So as I was discussing, you were walking Nixie, so you missed this. So the way Andor is doing season 2, because they couldn't get 5 full seasons that they wanted, they're doing chunks of the season to cover an individual season. 3 episodes is 1 year. Skip a year, 3 episodes, 2 years, or 2 episodes, another year, 1 episode, another year. So now they got 1 year till Rogue One.
Yeah.
So that's where they should be if they're doing 3 more, which I think they did. But either way, fucking fantastic show. So fucking good. And it's what Star Wars should be. And I don't mean you need to know the nerdy stuff in and out. You need to know the exact model of the gun and where it came from and who built the fucking thing originally in 1967. No, you just want good fucking storytelling with the characters you know and building out a fucking universe. Like, in all the time that we spent in even the original 6, right? Do you know fuck all about the planets they were on other than even maybe the names?
Hey, look, woods.
Yeah, look, woods. Look, ice. Look, desert. Look, more desert.
We ain't found shit.
Yeah. The Andor, between Andor and even a little bit of Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was not a good series for the most part, but they actually explored the cultural differences on each planet. Like why it fucking matters. You spend enough time with the people on the ground to be like, oh, we're not just all it's space, it's like the 50 states. You know, it's not like that. It's like this is the US and then this is fucking somewhere in Russia, or this is somewhere in deep South America, or this is fucking middle of Australia. Like you feel like you're in a different place with a different
they all
culture.
started somewhere and they all brought their own customs and culture and everything.
And it all has developed, and they've never developed culture on screen. Like we spend a lot of time between 3 different planets, and you understand the culture on all 3 by the time they get done with that chunk of the story. And they never do that in Star Wars, and it's good story building. You know,
Star Wars, I don't know, before it was focused primarily on the politics.
Oh, this is all politics, though.
Yeah, but
well, no. Here's the problem: George Lucas got in the weeds with politics with Episode 1. Mm-hmm. He got way too in the weeds. But the funny part is, I watched a video on Friday that was what Star Trek gets wrong about government and what Star Wars gets right about government. If you're doing a galactic government, Star Wars shows you exactly how it would fucking function. Mm-hmm. Especially with Andor, because you start seeing the ineffectual bureaucracies. You start seeing the intricacies of, well, I got to file a motion, or I have to play politics with this other person to get the shit done that I need to get done, because if I don't, and that sounds like minutia, but they make it matter.
See, I think writing it, someone got really into that minutia. They got really into the politics, and at some point they forgot, oh yeah, we're making a show.
But the thing is that... But when it comes to the rebellion, the key part of it was part of the government that did the separatist movement to become the rebels. And they show you how that happened.
You think they went that far into it, not even putting it on screen, getting it laid down and laid out how it works so that could dictate their characters' actions?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did. Because showing and basing the dysfunctional government there off of our own dysfunctional parliament.
Because even if they wrote something in, well, no, he couldn't do that because this thing.
Yeah, literally. They show how they even show you the empty Senate or the half empty Senate chamber.
So they set their own framework with its own boundaries to dictate their boundaries within their storytelling.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah. And that's actually what's really good, at least here. Because you follow.
All right, I'll start it.
It's a good show. It's like, and there's not a lightsaber to be seen.
I don't know.
Look, if you liked Rogue One,
it might be better than what I did all night last night.
Okay.
Scrubs, because brain wasn't braining, and I watched Scrubs for way too long.
So you know what? So all the so I already talked about The Last of Us, and I have a little bit of disappointment because of the changes they've made, and I don't like Bella Ramsey, but I like the rest of the show.
I'm a little angry human.
Yes, but I like the rest of the show for what they are sticking with in the story and then finally building upon. Because one of the big things is with cordyceps being a fungus, how would that spread?
What?
Cordyceps, they're a fungus. They're a mushroom.
Bless you.
Yes. How does it spread usually? How would a fungus spread?
What?
Spores.
Yes, spores.
Yes. So in the game, spores are a big deal. You go into an infected area, there are spores everywhere. Normal people will get infected. You have to put on a gas mask.
But so you can't, first mask up, mop 3.
The first season didn't deal with spores at all so that they could leave their characters with their faces totally exposed, or else half the time they'd be wearing a gas mask. Finally, in season 2, they're exploring a very, very important part of the world that spores were necessary, and they finally did it, and they finally did it right. And it's like, holy fuck. Like the art department and the props, all the money. Like, give them all the awards for this shit because they replicated the area of the game where basically it was an underground area where no light can get to, and people have been down there for 20 years in some cases. They're molded into the walls, being kept alive by the fungus, and their only purpose is to breathe in air and export spores.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it's literally like thick in the air everywhere. I was like, damn, they finally really fucking replicated the game. I was like, damn, that looks really fucking good. So watch that this morning. Sneeze! Oh, cough. I thought I was expecting a sneeze. By the way, who the fuck left all the napkins down there? Was that you? I cleaned them up earlier. Were you like wiping your nose and throwing them on my floor?
That was a snotty.
God, that was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I didn't realize those were down there.
I thought I grabbed them. I threw
You
away
did
some.
not. There was a pile of them, and I
Left
didn't
you-
realize what they were. I thought it was some of my trash until I looked at it. I was like, what is this? And then I realized, oh, Heffy
Of course,
snot.
that particular day, I didn't know what I was doing half the time.
Yeah, that was 3 weeks ago.
It was
That's
leaving you a gift.
Yeah, but I did not realize what that was until I picked it up today. Thanks for that.
Wow, you need to clean more often.
Well, I was more worried about putting stuff back in here because we had the men's group over on Friday for Domino's. Sad you missed it, but you guys had a much better time. I'll let you talk about that later. Because I'm very interested in that because I know about 12 people who were there.
Yeah, it was more
I
people
know
than I thought.
I know a lot of people who were at that concert and I want to hear about it. You mentioned Scrubs.
Yeah.
Scrubs is a fun comedy, but also a decent drama. at times.
Exactly. It's silly. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I like the sight gags. I like the stupid humor.
Yeah.
When you're in just a don't want to pay attention mode, it makes you giggle.
Yeah. So I've raved on this show a lot about medical dramas. I really like House. I really like ER.
House is my
MASH
go-to.
MASH is great in its own right. You know, literally set the tone effectively for that. You know, and then there's Saint Elsewhere, which was a different.
See, I like
thing.
those in crime dramas.
Yes.
Criminal Minds, NCIS, all of them.
Yes,
Even
procedurals.
Yeah.
Yep.
However, new show comes along called The Pit.
Caught episode 1.
What did you think in one episode?
It was nonstop.
We finished the whole season.
You did.
Yeah.
Did you need raviolis and a nap?
Well, so
You were probably exhausted.
Jessica watched the first couple episodes without me because I was busy doing whatever I was doing. And then I got into it thinking it's just going to be another dumb series.
Their op tempo is nonstop. If that
Dude.
was 1 day or 1 hour,
It's okay. So and that's the thing about the show that made it interesting. It's like 24. Every episode is 1 hour of the day, and it's 15 episodes. It's a 15-hour extended shift.
the day starts with essentially talking someone off a ledge.
Yes, literally one of the doctors. It's one of the doctors that had to be talked off the roof of the building by the main character, Robbie, played by Noah Wiley. You know, literally an ER veteran. Like, I thought the funny part is when I first saw it, I was like, wait, are they doing an ER sequel like 20 years later? You know, which I'm down for if they do it right. I love
But the
ER.
fact that he keeps calling it the Pit just it cracks me up.
Well, because it's Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
whatever.
but still one of the
main
busiest.
hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's their main hospital, trauma center. So here's the thing. I've never seen a show
It
play
looks
out
to
this
me
way.
like they take a lot of indigents as well.
I don't know what you mean.
People that really don't have insurance and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. It's like a nightmare scenario for this day. That's the whole point. It's a nightmare scenario. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody.
Isn't that like every day though?
No, because it starts out as just a normal busy day and then becomes a nightmare.
Oh.
You find out why. And then you find out, like, here's the thing. You spend enough time with all these characters that you know a lot about them. And I said this to Jessica, this is the only show I've ever seen that is meant to be binged. Because you are, if you binge this show, you are literally living the pacing with them. Because it's 1 hour at a time with them. You're not missing days. You're not missing anything. They're literally going hour to hour with these same people. And you cover the different shit that is happening to them. And this is the one show where I was saying, you don't need to wait week to week because it's not week to week for them. It's literally hour to hour. Like you start and the episodes will end with like a cliffhanger, and then the next one picks up either right after that or on a different part of what's going on, because there's 12 main characters, I guess, for the most part, or at least central characters. But I mean, and the one thing I liked about it is it's pretty real, and it doesn't focus on drama between characters. It focuses on the drama of the victims or the patients. That's where the drama is. There is some stuff, interpersonal stuff, but you don't have the who's sleeping with who. You don't have the...
Yeah, there's no time.
There's no time for it because you're having... I mean, there is some of that, but when they reveal what is going on, it's awesome. And I was like, okay, this show is written really well by people who know the industry. I will say this is a crazy... Totally different from any hospital I've ever fucking been in, and I've been in a few ERs. And I'm just like, I've never seen an ER that looks like this. They're talking about ERs that have wings.
Yeah.
Like it's got fucking, they're like, go to the South 14. Or, it's like, Jesus Christ, how big is this ER? But it does deal with like some of the management problems because they do have the manager comes down to bitch about dumb shit every now and then.
Yeah.
And then literally like, okay, we'll get on that. And then just like fucking whatever.
3 more things happen. Yeah.
3 more things happen. It's like, hey, do you not understand what the fuck is happening down here? And it is on HBO. So there is realism shown on screen. And be warned, there is a childbirth on screen.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was like, oh, thanks for the warning on that one, HBO. You do also see some poor guy's genitalia right before it gets wrapped up into some other stuff. And then, like, the injuries are not gruesome, but some of them are bad.
Yeah.
And then, like, they cover the stress of
Just
some of the shit.
day one, the degloving.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It's just, and see, I missed that because I wasn't part of. But also, you get to know the patients, too. That's what's even funnier because you're actually spending 2 to 3 hours with some of these patients. And, like, your interaction is the interaction that the doctors have.
It's
with
almost like looking over their shoulder the entire time.
Yeah, it really is. And I was like, and I liked the show because like the medical end of it was great, the drama end of it was great, the acting is fucking fantastic. Noah Wyle is still fantastic actor, and the fact that he's back to doing medicine again is even great because I think he did another show in between ER and here. So highly recommend The Pit. And what I was hoping for season 2 is that they pick up immediately with the next shift.
Yeah.
With a whole new set of characters. Because how cool would that be? You just pick up with the next group of people. Because you are introduced to the next shift by the end of it. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, okay, I want to see what they're dealing with now because we just left 5 interesting cases.
And then you get to hear about the dumpster fire that they inherited from the last shift.
And that's exactly what happens at the beginning of that shift. There's some dumpster fires left over. I was like, okay, this would be a very interesting show because it's literally meant to be binged. Drop it all at once because you're experiencing the whole show as it goes. And then you can switch characters every season. And nobody would be pissed because they're just like, okay, so we were already introduced to this group of characters because there's a literal handoff. Okay, now it's your go.
Hi, look, new guys, they're terrified.
Yeah, new guys, new situation, same place. It's like, I think if they do that, it'd be great. But the problem is they got to release those seasons on top of each other.
Yeah.
Because like, could you imagine a continuous medical drama, no breaks? Like, you get like maybe like
you're 15 years in, and you're like, literally like 3 weeks.
We've literally never. No, not really. Oh yeah, I guess yeah. But if you binge it all in one day, yeah. So like, but here's the funny part is like, if you binge this show in one whole day, you would have to be taking like the bathroom breaks with the characters. you're like, shit, I gotta go pee.
What's the matter? I gotta go to the doctor.
Yeah, it's like do it all in one day. But no, great show, fantastic show, and didn't deal with anything too insane, like some crazy stuff, like a kid gets hit in the face with a baseball.
Thanks.
Well, he gets a line drive to the eye, and then they get to see how you got to deal with that. Up close and personal. I will say the prosthetics for this and like the work when they're doing surgeries and shit, fucking top notch.
Oh, yeah.
Like they got some money on that shit. So I hope the show goes for a long time because these characters are fun. And oh yeah, much like Scrubs, when you start, it's JD's first day, right?
Yeah.
Half the cast.
I'm on
Yeah.
season 5 now.
So half the cast, it's literally their first day, and it's a fucking train wreck.
One of the biggest laughs I've had. It was the one where Turk got convinced to put the girl under hypnosis for surgery. Got halfway through it, and she woke
wakes
up and started screaming her ass off.
Yeah, because she couldn't do anesthetic, so they put her. They put her under.
And Cox is sitting there just clapping.
Yeah, giant fucking grin. I will say there's no Dr. Cox character in the show though, but
there's no good antagonist.
I mean, the antagonist is the patient.
Is the work.
The hospital is actually the thing that you're fighting, almost literally. The other thing is, it's technically news, but I did watch the documentary about the Renaissance Festival on HBO.
I've been looking into that a little bit.
Watch it, because it does follow the drama that set up our news story for later, which is that the Renaissance Festival has now finally sold 3 years later.
Yeah.
After a court order to finally finish the sale. And I will say that
I don't wanna.
Yeah, so it's a three episode docuseries. And I will tell you, the king, King George, the guy who's actually owned it, which is not the guy who plays the king. That guy's name is Greg.
No, King George is the mayor of Todd Mission.
The mayor of Todd Mission, yes. I didn't realize that.
And he was been the mayor since its founding.
He founded the city. He is the mayor. He owns the Renaissance. He was the original king back in the day.
It's a few homes, a gas station, and a couple of businesses.
It's more than a few. There's a lot of homes because they own all that property. Because I've been there plenty of times for work. So, I've been down there. I've seen where the people...
My concern is other individuals that are inside and vendors that have purchased property, like
yes,
Lihia, the empanada lady.
Yes,
she has like a whole block now that wraps around.
So that's part of it, because in the show they see where he wants to not sell it off whole yet. He wants the vendors to buy off parts of it from him,
because Lihia has done that years ago.
Yeah, so this is from 2021.
Okay,
so this is
did they actually mention her?
No.
Okay.
But they show a lot of the vendors that they go to with the contract to buy his shares.
The only reason I know her is my wife used to work for her years and years and years ago at Renfest.
Yeah. But so here's the thing. They do a whole lot of bullshit TV drama, and then there's like the real stuff that happens.
So no fake fights.
No, there's real fights, but when there's just one person on screen doing their to camera piece, there's a lot of drama. They do a whole lot of musical manipulation, a lot of scene manipulation to think that like there's 4 main characters really as it goes. I mean, they are real people, but we're using them as characters here. We got Louis, Jeff, Darla, and George for the most part. And Jeffrey was the general manager working directly under King George. Darla gets brought up to become co-general manager. Louis got the most amount of land and venues within the Renaissance Festival. He's the Lord of Corn. The guy who does all the popcorn, all that stuff, the kettle corn, that's him. And he's the one who decides to try to buy it using his family's money.
Okay.
That's where a lot of the drama comes from. But they also and at the same time, Jeff convinces George to not sell it to him, whether that's for TV purposes, because that conversation did not look real. Because you see George, you see Jeff, you hear voiceover, you never see the two of them talking. So I think they took separate shots, put it together like that conversation happened. I don't think that conversation happened. But where the drama comes in, it's way overplayed, like clearly for TV purposes. And like, you wouldn't say that shit if you're an actual professional person. Like, you wouldn't talk about your boss that way if you still had a job. It's like, so, a lot of the events that happen are real. What happens in between said events feels like a lot of fluffery. But now that we got it in the news that it has been sold, because apparently some of the paperwork and exchange started and then never finished. And they show some of that in the documentary.
That's what I was reading about. That's about as far as I got. That he
so
missed the signings and everything several times. And
so I'll read more into that here in a little bit. But I just wanted to say that I watched the documentary before you guys got here. Literally finished it about 20 minutes before you showed up.
Okay.
I hate the way they shot it, but I like the information given. But also King George, holy fuck, that dude is wrong in the head. It might just be that he's 80 plus years old, but like he was married to someone for like 14 years. Apparently that didn't end very well because I talked to her for about 2 minutes out of the show and then never talked to her again. So that clearly didn't go very well. But he's like got folders upon folders upon folders of everything that he wants to remember and set aside. His home, you will not believe it when you see the house he has and the shit he's had done to it. But like he is trying to, before he dies, he wants a semi-permanent companion, not necessarily a girlfriend, but someone who will stay with him who's of the female variety. And he has a checklist he put out on a sugar daddy website to find a young female. So he interviews, at least on screen, 2 24-year-old females of the semi-goth persuasion for whatever reason. They're the ones that applied. And
spooky girls.
One he didn't like because of her piercings. The other ones he didn't like because she had fake tits. And he said, like, if I touch plastic, I hate it. I can tell it's not real. I don't want it. So literally he asked her, I was like, are your breasts real? She's like, no, I had a breast enhancement a few years ago. Went from an A to a D. And he's like, okay, we're done here. And literally walked the fuck out. And also this millionaire thinks that
fake boobies be gone.
Yes, literally. Like, but dude, like I don't want to say he's a character. He is fucked in the head, and one thing that at least on screen where they showed the dealings going south, at least the second time somebody tried to buy it in the show, it's entirely on him. It's entirely on him having a fucking old man moment, and it started reminding me of our illustrious former vice president who called himself president. I was like, holy shit, this dude is like Joe Bidening everywhere, and everyone's bowing down to him and pretending it's okay because all their jobs are on the line at any given point. Because if he has a bad day, he might just fucking fire you because you pissed him off for the last 2 seconds. I was like, holy shit, dude. And like, this guy's dangerous. I was like, and like, they even say at one point, they're like, yeah, he's the king, but since we kind of run everything, we don't always listen to him. It's like, but if he finds out we did anything against him, he'll come after us. It's like, Jesus. Like, he's literally the king of his own little township. All right, but that's all I got until we get to actual news here in a bit. So, Jefe, other than Mother's Day, what the fuck have you been doing since last we drank?
Fighting my allergies and just working nonstop.
And you said scrubs.
I've been busier than a duck with a bone or fucking a rabbit's hoof.
What?
Yeah, I've been pretty confused and all over the place.
I don't even know how that would happen. Also, rabbits don't have hooves. I don't know if you know this. And ducks have corkscrew penises.
Yeah, so busy.
I guess. It's weird.
Yeah.
So what's been going on otherwise? What you been doing?
Not much. We got elections at the Legion tomorrow.
Again?
Not again.
Well, when did you get appointed? Not that long ago.
Yeah, I was filling in for a fellow that vacated the post.
Oh, okay. So now's the actual.
Well, no, I'm running unopposed, so I'm not the issue.
Oh, okay.
We got psycho. We got people we'd rather not see get office.
Gotcha. Okay.
For reasons.
I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
You know, they've got power over the bar.
No, it's not that.
Oh, I was like, yeah, because all that political power that you have.
Oh, it's just crazy. We want to get rid of crazy.
So like the king.
That pretty much.
Oh, by the way, he runs around in like a fucking makeshift thing with like stars on his shirt and fucking medals sewn on. Like he's a fucking military guy. Maybe he was a military guy. I don't know. But he runs around in a fucking outfit that looks like it's a fucking general's outfit.
Good grief.
And it's all sewn on patches and shit. It's not like metal.
No, I haven't been up to much. We've been working on Amy's car at cracked a radiator.
Oh, great.
And that got replaced. And when we were looking at it, we went, that fan's got like 5 cracks in it. Let's replace that.
Yeah.
Then we tested the fan clutch. Let's replace that.
Yeah, if you're going that far, replace all
and
that.
then a new radiator hose and
all the cooling system.
So for Mother's Day, Amy got car parts and labor.
I left that out of my week, but I too also needed car parts this week. You guys saw the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I had a massive oil leak that is all my fault.
I think this Wednesday I'm going to attempt to tear apart the column on the little Jetta and see if I can get it fixed.
So what have you been doing since?
Driving my van.
That makes sense. Never mind. Obvious answer is obvious. Didn't occur to me. Oh yeah, he could just drive the van.
I captured 2 of Amy's ponies and have been riding them to work.
I mean, they could pull the car. You could just sit on the hood.
All 4.5 of you go.
Be about as good as your AC works. That was a van AC that died on you. Before,
yeah,
Yes.
it's working fine now.
I was thinking the Jetta didn't have heat. The Jetta didn't have heat. It had AC.
Going to be meeting for lunch with a lifelong friend of mine, and we're going to be planning out essentially a solar generator to put in my work vehicle. And we're shooting for about 10,000 watt hours. Goal is to run a standalone AC/heat and keep that rolling all night.
Okay.
Solar charge, all that fun stuff.
So you're building an RV.
Sorta. I did taxes and I figured out I spent almost $1,500 in ice
Yeah.
to keep myself cool with that icy breeze little
Yeah.
cooler. And I said, screw that. For that money, I could get a standalone system. It'd last me 7 or 8 years before I need to upgrade or go to different batteries. And I think it'll be a better overall option.
What if you just had an ice maker in the van and you just hooked up a hose?
No,
I mean, it would work.
it would, but it wouldn't be near as comfortable.
Yes, but now that I've given you the idea, you might end up doing it anyway.
'cause with that, even with that system I was using, water was dripping down the inside of the windshield. It got so humid in there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the one I'm getting, we're gonna have to run a drain line and all that. So we got the dehumidifier and all that going too.
Yeah. Okay. Fun times.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
But we're making it so I can switch it over to whatever new work rig I get. Just keep it simple, easy, portable-ish.
Okay. So big battery pack somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay. Strapped to the ceiling.
maybe.
Somewhere the dog can't chew on it.
Dogs are fine.
I don't know. They like electricity.
Mine behave.
It tastes like tingling.
Speaking of which, speaking of dogs, Nixie really impressed me last week. She was really good.
Yeah, she was focused on the sandwiches.
The
the
sandwiches
entire time.
and drooling on me.
Yeah, at least she drooled on you, not me. She
Yeah.
just slept on me.
Yeah, she decided to go hang out with Shoki on the other side.
Yeah, like
Curled up on the seat and passed out.
yeah. So at one point she's sitting next to him on the other bench.
Well, you've seen her. She does she gets on you and leans on you and looks
Yeah.
at you. It's cute as hell.
Yeah. So and then she was begging from everybody. Charlie didn't eat, so she didn't beg from him, but she begged Megan. quite a
Megan
lot.
gave in a lot.
Yeah, but that's fine. She only got little bits of sandwich and lettuce, but no, she slept next to me for probably like 30 minutes or
Yeah.
so, and then she had to get up to pee, or because she kept farting. Jesus, did she keep farting?
From the sandwiches.
No, she was farting before we gave her sandwiches.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was just bad. At one point, we're like, I think she needs to go shit, Jeff. And it's like,
Those are turds honking to get out.
yeah, she woke herself up. Like none of them were audible, but they were definitely smellable. Because I forgot the word for.
Tiny but deadly.
Yes, that was bad. That was real bad. It's like we're all like in that little corner of Bartlett's, and we're just like, oh, good Lord.
Even Megan, I think she needs to go outside. Yep, she needs to go outside.
Yep. Oh, and then his dumbass, he gets her a water bowl and then sets it in front of him as he's trying to walk to the thing, nearly trips over the bowl and Nixie. It's like, dumbass, put it over there. Like, don't set it down in your walk path.
Yeah.
It wasn't very smart. But it worked.
Gravity did not win that day.
It almost did.
No, but I prevailed.
She tried to take the wires out, but she did not prevail.
Nope, we wound up tucking them up.
Yeah. So she was like
But
trying.
then from underneath you hear thunk, thunk, thunk,
Oh,
thunk,
yeah.
thunk, thunk, thunk.
So
The tail.
Tail.
so something I discovered, if I hit mute over here and we're doing this like normal, nothing comes across.
Yeah.
On recording directly on the board, I have to hit on air to make it go away.
Okay.
That's why, even though I had the other mics muted, you could still hear all the background sounds.
Damn.
I was like, why am I hearing all this? And by the way, it's first time getting to edit all of the individual sound, which all I did was just even it out.
Yeah.
I didn't do any crazy editing because I didn't want to remove anything, but it was interesting to actually have access to all of the individual audio files that were recorded. It was cool. I could have got the singular file. It does both. It's like, hey, here's one whole file and here's every file, which was cool. So that's neat to know that the machine does that. So like I eliminated like a bunch of the noise. Like when Charlie wasn't there, his mic was just gone for most of it. And then when he showed up, I added it back in. That kind of stuff. But that's how I found out. It's like, oh, it keeps recording if you have on air on. Either that or I need to have it all down, then it won't have anything to record. But it was a lot of fun. So now that I can work out all those kinks on that. So next time when we go back for Donkey Show Sundays.
Well, I hope they stay open. When I spoke with Van a couple days before, he said they might not be staying open on Sundays anymore.
And we were talking about it before you got here, and it's like there's no advertising. Like,
well, also the whole day we were the only customers.
Yeah. Well, I drove by yesterday. They were open at 1:00. Nobody was there.
Yeah.
I assume that means Megan was there, just dropped off. But it was like, what the fuck? Like, they used to be busy on Sundays outside of events. And I mentioned it that day, and even to you, Van will share a thing like, hey, we're half price margaritas all weekend, and then no one shows the fuck up. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And then when I go back and look at the post, 3 people liked it, including me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why is no one seeing their advertisements? You know? So I think they need to do some Facebook pokery and like
they need a larger online
Facebook. I mean, like he posts like weekly, like of anything coming on, and like 3 or 4 times a week he's posting stuff of what's coming up, different drinks. And I was like, so if we couldn't get anybody in there that we know on a day we're hanging out there, it's kind of an issue. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they can figure that out, because I want to go by more on Sundays. At least do once. I gotta stop. Get over there. Once a month. Maybe doing an event over there. We'll see.
I just got something that dropped. Another executive order.
What's this one?
Barring illegal aliens from receiving Social Security benefits and ordering a crackdown.
That shouldn't even be in it.
I know, right?
Well, so here's the funny thing about Trump's EOs. Most of them are already laws. He's just doing it to prove the point. Like, hey, we need to fucking look at this. Why is this a thing? Well, and then when they dig in, they go, oh, it's already a law.
The first state they're targeting is California.
Oh, good. And then to go after New York immediately after.
Yeah.
All right. So before we do that, I want to hear about Chad's week.
Buddy.
Since we actually missed you last week.
I actually had an interesting week.
Okay, talk.
I may have pissed off my ex-landlords and everything.
Uh-oh.
But no, we finally were out of there completely and all that. He knows a little bit about what was going on.
A little bit.
All right.
I didn't cave in, and I told them to basically, piss off when it came to a few things. But no, we got out of there. They wanted me to pay fully in what we were going to be there.
Okay.
Like for the April when we were moving.
Oh, yeah. So basically it didn't prorate you for that.
No, but I had paid them a deposit and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So, no, they just wanted to kind of screw me over, wanted me to pay extra. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And so it's just a few things that was going on with that. And we finally, like I said, I didn't cave in. We settled. I got all the stuff out of there, and we're gone. So
did the thing I told you was in your favor make the difference?
Yeah.
Good.
So the only thing I had to do
Discuss later.
Yeah, the only thing I had to do was pay what was going to be.
Pay your
up to the day.
Yeah, up to the day.
Yeah.
What it was.
Like I said, like prorating the time you were there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's only fair.
Yeah.
Why pay for the whole month when you weren't there for the whole month?
Yep.
And in fact, you were gone for part of the month.
Yes.
You were just the last few things.
Yeah, you were gone
there.
for like weeks.
Yes.
At least 2.
And I couldn't get all the machinery out because it was raining.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. And
so all that's out?
Yeah, everything's gone.
Beautiful.
Everything's done.
Finally done with that shit.
Yes, I don't have to worry about it no more.
Good.
So we're over in the other spot full time.
So you can get back to printing shirts.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Why? What's up with that?
It's just a lot of hassle, labor, cleanup.
Well, I know that. Oh, because you don't have water access too.
Well, we do, but we don't really have a place to wash it.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have a
you don't have a wash rack or anything like that there. No,
yeah. You don't have access.
I don't have a place for it to drain.
You don't have any. You don't have a dark room for negatives. Nope. Any of that.
No.
Yeah. So you big trade off. You can't do shirt printing anymore, but you can do fully serviced vehicles now.
Yep.
Yep. So that's a big trade off. What I guess one probably produces more money, I assume.
And the shirts and everything was a good thing to do when we were doing it, but sometimes it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, like if
the way we were doing it,
hell, sell the big machine and get some embroidery machines.
Well, I'm trying to get it sold.
He was trying to get it sold, and nobody would buy.
No one wants to. Everybody.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. I don't think you were here.
But the embroidery is a good way to go.
Yeah.
That's small impact and a lot of profit you keep turned out.
Yeah, noisy.
And hell, have you seen the setup over at Amy's shop?
Yes, I have.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
But that's mainly all they've done, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I like embroidery on hats and whatnot more. But that is also, you get limited on that. By the way, still waiting on my posters. Still waiting on my posters from
That's Racing the Prairie Dog?
Yeah, the Racing the Prairie Dog posters still have not shipped. As far as I know, they haven't even printed.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to get a fucking refund.
Well, with my other hats, my Howdy Putos hats.
Yeah.
I actually didn't hear anything for 2 months. Sent an email, politely worded, inquiring about the order. Joe's Hat Company.
Okay.
One dude does everything.
Oh, see, yeah.
And he sent me back an email and explained, hey, it's just me doing everything. I do appreciate your business, and I'll get on this as soon as I can. And a week later, they showed up.
Yeah. So you know what's funny with
so politely worded emails are big help.
I might need to hit up Bunker Branding. You know, that's where the unsub guy.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if they do posters, but I'd be like, hey, Teespring has fucked me over, and I need someone who can print my shit for me. You know, I'm a small time creator, but you know, I do most of my own design work and everything else like that. So you guys wouldn't have to do anything. I just need someone who can produce our shit. And if it's produced here in Texas, even better.
Yep.
You know, because they're over there in Bernie.
Because I'm definitely going to pick up a hoodie for this coming winter.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, it just annoys me. And I'm going to assume that whoever does the printing for Teespring, like on paper, is the problem. Not because, you know, they got the shirt printers all over the world that do their shit contracted. So presumably whoever's doing the fucking poster printing is the issue. Which, by the way, I do have a new poster coming from Mighty Car Mods.
Very good.
Because they created a new design for a t-shirt, and me and apparently a whole bunch of other people said, hey, I want that on a fucking poster. So they made it. But instead of making it the size of their other posters, they only made it A2 size. And I'm like, oh, it doesn't fit with anything else.
What's an A2?
It's not. It's like a 8 it's like a 13 by 27.
So A2 Brute and all that?
No.
Yeah.
It's A1, A2, the different size of printing. But either way, it's a weird size. But it's a cool poster. I'm going to hang it up somewhere. I don't know where. Probably in the laundry room because it's neat.
This is neat.
It's like a little turbo boosty boy. Like they did like the old school like 50s advertising character.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So they made it from a turbo and made it into its own little character.
It's Kirby.
And they did it in the no, it's Boosty Boy.
Boosty Boy?
Yeah. With a BOI, not BOY.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's coming. But also got all my unsub merch should be here today in theory. So that's fun. Except for the shoes. The shoes won't release until July, but that's okay. I don't even know if they'll fit me. But I don't. But it'd be cool to have collectible unsub shoes. Sportism research. But other things you've done this week, Chad.
Well, all that happened up until Friday afternoon,
Yes.
evening. I went to the concert,
Yes.
Mercy Me concert, and it was fabulous.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Perfect night, weather, everything. It was great. Sat in the lawn, it was cool. And I mean, the first guy I didn't even know, Sam Wesley. I didn't realize, I mean, of course, we never really heard of him or anything else like that. I didn't find out until later on. That's actually Bart, the lead singer of Mercy Me. That's his son.
Really?
Yeah, that's his oldest son. And so
Started
he's got
his
his
own
own band and everything. I'm like, holy crap.
That's pretty cool.
So he's pretty good. So no, it was all great. Yeah, and we had Jordan that showed up and everything. Like I said,
Jordan and his wife are there.
yeah. Look up, I see him coming across. Like, yeah, you can't miss him at all.
Nope.
Oh, that was okay. That's where you at when you posted that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, because I told y'all they were going to be there.
I didn't even see his face, just sideburn and back of head. I'm like,
Well,
I know that guy.
I started taking a picture, and then he's like, no, turn this way. I was like, well, there went down. I'm not gonna take another one.
No, it's even funnier that he's not looking. But and then, of course, Candida and Rhonda joined y'all as well.
Yes.
And then actually some people from our church who were supposed to be here for Domino's and Domino's got free tickets and went. So they're like, they had friends who had extra set of tickets. So they went. And I think somebody might have offered us some tickets. I don't remember, but I'm just like, I can't. I already got shit planned.
So you have way too much leftover pizza.
Yeah. Well, so there were only, at the end, there was 3 whole pizzas effectively left. We only had 6. So the first 3 went away really fast. All the cheese stuffed crust went away really quick.
Of course.
But luckily, it was like the exact right amount of people. So Louis didn't show up. I had invited him. People who said they were going to be here didn't. And then people I didn't know were coming showed up. So it ended up balancing out. We had 8 people total. And it's the first time that James and Andre were both in my house at the same time. That's not happened before. And it's the first time James has been here in almost a year, I think. And so Andre kicked the ass of all the young guys because they barely knew how to play. And then the rest of us stood around talking, including a new guy to our church, Randy. Shout out to Randy. He's a cool dude. He was geeking out in here. Like, I was like, dude, I was telling him about the podcast. I was like, dude, if you get fucking
look with your eyes, not with your hands.
Well, people can touch certain things, just not the expensive things. Or don't reach for the thing that's behind other stuff and then knock everything over like a dipshit. Or watch where your elbows go. Heavy. Yeah. But either way, no. Hopefully, I can get Randy on the podcast because he seemed interested, and he's also into the unsub universe and all that. Right. So he listens to all very similar shows. So hopefully, that'd be cool to get him back on. Wait, who are the other bands who were at the concert? Because I saw like a list. There was like four
Sam
bands?
Wesley. Shoot. No,
obviously, Mercy Me.
Yeah, Mercy Me was.
You were there.
Headliner, yeah. And I'm trying to.
He's slept since then. He had a halfway stressful Mother's Day. Mercy Me.
Now I'm drawing a blank. There's just who is the
Blink 182,
no,
311.
No, not the style.
Okay, what style is Mercy Me?
It's Christian.
Okay. Ozzy Osbourne.
Did you post it? Somebody else posted it the other day. Did Heidi post it?
Probably. Everybody's looking here.
Yeah, we're all looking at the same time. Oh, I guess the pavilion would have been.
Yeah, I'm not looking for that.
What are you looking for?
I don't know.
Either way, it looks cool. I can't. I don't see the details. Either way, good time though. We've not gone to a concert in a long time.
Zach Williams.
Zach Williams. That's okay. So I've actually heard of him. So he's pretty good. I'm not into a lot of the contemporary Christian stuff, but we do check it out on the streaming channel sometimes. Except that all of it has very hefty copyrights, which is very annoying. And it's all the contemporary Christian music. I was like, this is fucking annoying. It keeps getting the stream shut down. Stupid YouTube copyright bullshit.
Believe it or not, the place was packed.
Oh, I believe it.
When we first got there, like, man, this is going to be a kind of a slow night. And then right after it started going down the sun and everything, turn around to go get a drink and everything. I got lemonade. It was...
How much was that lemonade? Fucking $8, $9, $12.
Wonder how many people were sitting there at that concert actually
like
having beer.
What?
Yeah, the thing is, you get a souvenir drink, and you would think you can go get it filled again.
Nope.
You're supposed to. They don't do that anymore.
That's horseshit. Of course, nobody does. Oh, I want to bring this up real quick. Something I heard on Timcast the other night. So it's about the tariffs. Obviously, tariffs are a mixed bag of situations. Obviously, if we're bringing in anything from foreign places, the prices have gone up, and they're working on a lot of it, including coming up with a whole thing with China apparently yesterday. They're working on talks with China to balance things out. There are companies that are taking advantage of the tariff confusion and charging more, even though they are completely unaffected by the tariffs. That is fucked up. And if you guys know of any companies, you need to report them to the SEC.
That's like everybody when everybody was getting worried about gluten, and they were slapping gluten-free on shit that was obviously
there's no gluten-free. Yeah.
No shit, it's hamburger meat.
Yeah. There shouldn't be gluten in hamburger meat. Not until you add the bun, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's just the fact that the people are taking advantage and charging people more despite...
That's always going to happen.
But because people are so dumb when it comes to the tariffs. Like even me trying to keep up with it, it's hard as fuck to keep up with. Economists don't even fucking agree on what the issue is or what it might be. But so they expect normal people to be able to follow who technically is getting anything from another country or not. You good?
What?
You belt digging into you?
No.
Okay.
I'm sitting on my nuts.
Oh. Try not to do that. That's why I sit a little sideways, so I don't have that problem. I make room. But oh my God, who was talking about that the other day?
I'm trying not to do the goat.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I think it might have been something at Jessica's work. No, or maybe it was something shared in our family chat. Yeah. Did somebody post something like about that kind of in the family chat the other day? I feel like somebody brought something up about nuts the other day, and I remember
half the people in there are nuts.
But half the people in there don't have them. Actually, the majority of them technically don't have them because we have more women in the chat than we have men.
We're mildly outnumbered.
Mildly. That's okay. The other two are like men.
They detest nuts.
They do. Shout out to Candida. She needs to come back on the show one of these days. She's another person who can't tell what she does. It's like she's got one of those jobs where she also can't talk about work. But
I'm a lesbian.
So yeah, that's not her job. That's not her job. That's her hobby. Remind me at the end of the show. I have to talk about Saturday, and it's going to be for Patreon only. So
Okay.
So remind me when we get to the end of the show for that. Speaking of things, with no kind
Stuff
of
and things and things and
stuff and things and such, we did get a fun trailer that dropped this past week.
I've yet to watch.
And
I'm
watch
looking
that
forward.
now. We will watch that here now. So, guys, I have the Peacemaker Season 2 official trailer from the DC peoples. I'm going to shrink it down and slightly put it in front of Chad's face over here. It's like right at your nose. It's like pick your head up just a little bit. It'll look like your nose is resting on it. There we go. Right there. I'll just fuck it around. Either way. So, Jeffe did not watch it. Chad and I did. So this is we got a teaser trailer before, but this is the actual trailer for Season 2.
They're going to be doing backflips to get you to join.
Welcome, Peacemaker, or do you prefer Chris? Either's fine. Can you tell us a little about your skills? I'm considered the finest marksman in the world.
The mic is off.
Yeah. I am also proficient in hand-to-hand combat. How many more of these do we have today?
Is that popcorn still yours?
Love popcorn.
My butt is getting really big lately, so.
I have a variety of helmets. This guy sucks. Excuse me? Am I supposed to be able to hear you guys? Excuse me? You were talking about your butt and stuff? And also you said that I suck. It is not funny.
I don't get it. We saved the world.
I thought everyone finally treat us like heroes.
I don't need anybody else to just forge my own path.
You're living in the worst level of Grand Theft Auto.
I've come to the conclusion you suffer from a particularly severe form of toxic masculinity.
Hardcore.
Argus has been monitoring Peacemaker ever since Rick Flag Sr. was named director. Does he know that I am?
Kill this time? Yep.
Bring me Peacemaker.
Mexicali, you scan for any anomalies throughout that house. Pony boy, don't let him out of your sight. Titties? I want you to take the
Titties.
front door. Encino man, you take the back door. Got it? Yeah, but not the fucking names, dude. You can't just call us that. What do you think we are, fucking Berkeley?
We haven't always been great people. But we are the 11th Street Kids. No one will ever break us apart. You ready for the next adventure, pal?
Eagly.
Who the fuck are you?
Nice.
I am me.
I am me, but who are you? So, one thing that's fun, we get Frank Grillo coming in, reprising his role as Rick Flag Sr. from...
Which one was Frank Grillo?
The guy in the shirt who was telling him to go hunt down Peacemaker.
Black guy?
No, white guy.
White guy.
Okay.
Italian guy. But Creature Commandos. Rick Flag Sr., the guy who went out there with the fucking monsters and
Yes.
got nearly killed by Clayface. That's him.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he voices a character and now playing him
Playing,
in
yeah.
real life.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. So I'm excited because technically speaking, everything, what they seem like they're leading up to is almost everything from season 1 is in this universe, except for the Justice League cameo at the end.
Well, I'm excited for the black guy. He's a bit part player, and I've liked him in everything I've seen him. And he was the friendly cannibal.
Tim
from Brooklyn,
Meadows.
He's a friendly cannibal from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. So Tim Meadows, fantastic comedian, actor, and all that. But like the fact that they've basically made them out to be like almost like their own individual terrorist group a little bit.
Titties.
Titties. It's the only female on the team, so you're titties.
The bald one.
Yeah, the bald one. But one thing that you were looking there at the end where Peacemaker runs into Peacemaker, you know, his dad had that pocket dimension where he built all his shit, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, one of the doors in that pocket dimension is to an alternate dimension, so he was seeing another of himself. Possibly one from the other the timeline that we saw.
Cool.
Where he's actually successful, not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So they're going to play with the multiverse a little bit within it. 'Cause
right.
now they have to acknowledge there is one because now we have weird continuity errors. So some of the Peacemaker season 1 is going to remain canon from the old universe, and then some of it's just going to get thrown away. But apparently the alien stuff still canon. The stuff with his dad still canon.
And that comes out when?
August.
August, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
21st,
August
I think?
21st. Yep, right there.
Hey, I got something to watch while they're
While you're on your way to fucking Alaska.
Speaking of
call
that,
in every week and give us an update.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Chad has already requested something from Alaska and Canada. Is there anything you want me to bring back?
No.
Like maple whiskey?
No.
No.
I mean, you're gonna have a hell of a time getting anything through Canadian customs, anyway.
Well,
they're shitheads now.
I'll do research and we'll pay the taxes and do what we got to do.
Yeah, see what happens. No, I don't have anything that I would necessarily want.
Okay.
That I can think of. You know, we'll see.
I like it.
Bring me some scrimshaw artwork. bring me a scrimshaw knife.
But yeah, I got 2 weeks on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, you better call in.
I'll be sending videos.
No, just call in. For like 20 minutes.
We also need to get me squared away on editing and how to shoot shit in a way that looks okay.
Good luck with that one.
I know, right?
I mean, there's no reason for you to edit because you know a guy who can.
Yeah, but I can do stuff on the way and get rid of chuffa and all that.
Maybe. If you shoot it right, then if you shoot only things you mean to shoot and tell on camera the things to remove, you just hand to person who's editing.
It's gonna be funny watching Scott and the old man try to act normal on camera.
Yeah, you guys sort of do.
Yeah, sort of.
Jordan's the only one who has a problem, really.
He hides behind Elvis.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the funny part is what Jessica does on camera. Like, she when I was vlogging almost daily, like she would kind of participate a little bit, and now she's at the point of don't turn the camera on me. I like, then hold the camera for me, make my life easier. It's like, so I bought that fucking DJI right there for stabilization and shit. So it is what it is. But I mean, like, if you have a hard drive or you're taking a computer with you that can store it all, just offload the footage every day and hold on to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if you have a stable enough connection, you could throw videos in a Dropbox and I can work on it while
I'll be
while you're
doing
mobile.
direct to the Facebook Messenger videos just once in a while, sending y'all a drop.
No, but I'm saying if you want real footage to be edited,
yeah,
use Dropbox to send the full fat footage to me, and I can put it together while you're on the road.
Oh, cool.
I'm offering to edit for you.
Dude, that's awesome. But
I feel like he didn't understand. I said, if only you knew a guy.
Well, I'm so used to doing everything on my own. When you're offered help, it takes a minute.
Well, here's the thing. I can teach you how to edit, or I can do it for you to a degree. I was like, I know how to edit, and I've got time, and there's no real... Because there's no commitment on when it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Just it has to be done. So you can wait till it's all done and hand me a hard drive, and I can put it together in a feasible manner. Or you can try to drop it to me, and I can build it every couple days.
We'll just give it to you at the end.
Okay, that
easy enough.
Yeah, that's fast enough. Get you one of these guys so you can offload footage.
I've got a terabyte stick.
These are solid state drives. They're a lot better.
Ooh, let's see.
Yeah, so that's a 4 terabyte solid state drive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like $80 or something on Amazon.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Yeah, and it's like super fast. So if you offload it on, I think you can use a USB-C to USB-C and offload directly from your phone if it connects, because it's Samsung, so it'll connect to your phone. So you could just offload footage that way. All our podcasts are on here. So when I'm done after like a couple of weeks and it starts building up, I move all the podcast shit onto this.
There you go.
To keep my hard drive empty. But either way.
Yeah, I'm just got to find a decent phone to shoot with.
So, yep.
Or just...
dude, you've got a perfectly good thing right there.
Put a terabyte memory card in it and go.
You don't even need terabyte. You need basic. If you're going to shoot every day for just an hour, give or take.
Depends. It'll be multiple times throughout the day.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you're doing an hour's worth of footage over the course of the day, maybe. If you don't do it at Ultra HD, then you'll be fine. That's a couple terabyte. That's a couple gigs.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got these things right here that, these are all perfectly good camera phones, and they're lesser model than the one you got there. So that thing's going to be fine unless you just want something else. What really matters is just that you learn to shoot somewhat stable footage if you can, or at least learn to point the camera at the thing you actually want to see.
Right.
That's you don't want to be turning the camera constantly.
I've also been eyeballing a GoPro with a good handheld mount and all that.
Just spend the money and get a DJI camera. Like it's a gimbal / camera combined.
Okay.
A lot of guys switch to that for vlogging. That way it's already got built-in image stabilization.
Oh, cool. And
you don't have to have a separate thingy. A couple $100 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would look into that. The only problem is, depending on how it's set up, DJI being a Chinese company doesn't play well with other things. But if you're using it in and of itself, then it should be okay. Don't drop that on my floor.
I won't.
I love he's like, I'm going to wipe my nose and put it straight face down on the desk. I'm going to have to disinfect that corner.
Clorox.
Yeah. Either way. So let's see. I got a couple other things in news here. Okay, so the Renfest thing. Let me pull up that article real quick since we already talked about it, and then we'll go to the thing that pissed off or will piss off Jefe. We'll see.
Oh, Lord.
Yep. All right.
Hold on.
You don't have to do that yet. We're going to talk about the Renfest thing because I've got that article pulled up. If you want to follow along with the article, it will be linked down below, or you guys have it in the chat. I don't know, Chad, do you want to read anything? You can do that if you want to. I don't care.
Oh, go ahead.
Thatcron.com. Oh, we forgot. We did tell them where to catch us, right? The email and all that. I didn't remember if we said it or not.
No, I got it right first time.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, you had the paper right there.
But I wasn't looking at it.
I didn't know. I wasn't looking at you. I was worried about taking off the stupid sombrero. All right, so Cron.com.
I did good.
You did. Cron.com, May 8th, 2025. Judge has settled $60 million Texas Renaissance Festival lawsuit. So once again, we're talking about this already. A judge has dismissed... Man, my ad blocker is not capable of keeping up with this website. Okay. A judge has made a ruling in a $60 million Texas Renaissance Festival lawsuit, which stemmed from the alleged backtracking of an agreed-upon sale of the festival. A Grimes County judge issued the ruling today in favor of the group seeking to buy the Renaissance Fair from the founder and owner, George Coolum. Judge Gary W. Cheney of the 506th State District Court, good Lord, that's a lot, awarded the group more than $22.3 million in damages, $1 million in attorney fees, and additional costs and fees for appeals. So not only the $60 million deal that failed, but punishment of $22.3 million. Because I think they had signed up, I'm probably going to read it here, but I think they had already forked over some money, and then they didn't finish it up. So the Texas Renaissance Festival was the subject of a 3-part HBO documentary, which I talked about, Ren Fair, that's Ren Fair with an E at the end of it, which was released last summer. Documentary followed, it was released last summer in 2024. It was filmed in 2021. That's a long time to fucking postpone that shit. Maybe they had like some NDA stuff because of the legal battle. Who knows? All right, documentary followed the 86-year-old King George Coolum as he grappled with the fair's succession plan, whether to hold on to it or let a younger generation take the reins. Well, Coolum ultimately decided not to sell the fair. The documentary made waves as it featured an unfiltered look at his many eccentricities, which many were none too thrilled about. I mean, dude is fucking crazy. I mean, like, you got too much money, not enough sense, but like, you can tell, like, he obviously really cared about the festival, and he was, like, micromanaging everything to a degree, but he's also old as balls and has problems. Like, the show starts with him waking up and showing us how he starts his fucking day. Like, his exercise, his medical shit going over, make sure he doesn't have a stroke and all this other stuff. Bro, he's got like daily affirmations and shit on his wall that he goes up to and reads, and then he goes by outside and he goes out to his little chapel he has outside his house where he has his statues of the Buddha, Jesus, and something else, and he talks to them for a few minutes. He goes outside and talks to his angels that he's got outside. The dude is fucking crazy. But either way,
it's nice to have a routine.
Yes, I mean the routine is good. Don't get me wrong.
If you say so, that, yeah, sure.
I mean, if you're old and alone, you got to do something. But in 2023, RW Lands Inc., Texas Stargate Inc., there's a comma there in a weird spot, okay, Royal Campground Inc., and Texas RF Inc. agreed to buy the Texas Renaissance Festival for $60 million from Coolum. So that's interesting that there's a Texas Renfest Inc. already that are buying it from him. So I think part of it is you got to have the land, but then they're also buying him out of his shares of it. That's because I told you he was selling shares of it to the people who already have like prominent booths. So they could literally own part of it, not just rent, right? So I think that's where part of it comes into it. Okay. The purchase included the fair's grounds, assets, properties surrounding the grounds owned by the Texas Renaissance Festival, which are many. They accused Coolum and 2 of his companies of not adhering to the agreed deal and failing to deliver the closing documents, which were signed in April 2023. So 2023, they had the closing documents ready to go. That's 2 years after the initial quote-unquote sale. All right, so the plaintiffs heard the news on April 7, 2023, that Coulomb would not close the sale on the agreed-upon date in April. Indeed, August of 2023, closing date came and went without Coulomb complying with their closing obligations, the suit states. Defendants provided none of these documents. Instead, the defendants have gone silent and ignored their obligations under all three agreements plaintiffs expressed in their original petition. I kind of wish they would put names to make my life easier rather than defendants and plaintiffs. All right, so Coulomb refuted the accusations in a response submitted to the courts in September and asserted that the plaintiffs had failed to fulfill their end of the bargain. So now it's a he said, she said. You didn't do your shit, I didn't do my shit, whatever. Defendants have not made any public statements since the ruling, but the festival organizers have posted a message on Facebook. Our commitment remains unchanged to deliver a safe, vibrant, and memorable experience for the hundreds of thousands of guests who visit each year. Festival operations are moving forward as planned for 2025 season, the statement read. I did see that. That's one reason I was like, wait, what the fuck's going on? And I think somebody at Domino's Night told me about it, and I had no idea, so that's when I started looking into it. The TRF has entertained and welcomed guests to Todd Mission, about 45 minutes north of downtown Houston, since 1974. The festival is reportedly the biggest Renaissance fair in the United States. I think that tracks. Attracting more than 500,000 visitors annually. They're like upwards of 30,000 a day, realistically, which is fucking nuts. And I mean, having spent plenty of time there myself, over the years, me, Jessica, and other friends, I mean, it's interesting to see that it's going to change hands, but if it's people who already work there and love it and want to keep it going, cool. But as the documentary showed us, some people want it for personal business reasons and other people wanted to just keep going what George has. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, but now in this case, because they don't say who bought it, right? They just say plaintiff. So it was the dude that I was talking about, Louis, and his family were going to buy it. However, the Greek section, the Angora area, apparently those people have a fuckload of money and owned other shit outside of there.
All right.
They were going to buy it at one point in the documentary. Spoilers. So he was talking about selling it to them for $60 million. And then I forget if he went back on it or something happened. And then so they canceled that sale and then they put it back up again. And this is when they decided to change managers. And basically it's like, okay, I've been dealing with this guy for months on end about how to do the sale and talking to George on the other side. George loses his mind, gets rid of this guy. Now we have to reset from day one. Now we got a new person coming in who is ordered to facilitate the sale, and then he loses his fucking mind again and fucks it all up. So the problem is he's got no one in control of his shit except for him.
Right.
And if he's making all the calls, even though the whole point was to pass it on to somebody else because he has no one, it's a fucking problem. And I don't know if his rent-a-hooker situation was working out. Because they don't bother to cut away when he starts talking about the fact, I take Viagra and Cialis every day along with, and I make sure I take weekly testosterone shots. That way I can get it up and ready to fuck whenever I'm good. I was like, bro, ain't nobody fucking you.
Maybe you're rent-a-goth.
Yeah, maybe. It was like, but basically like he wanted to be ready to go. And mind you, this is 2021. He's 86 now. So he would have been, let's math that out. What, 80, right? 80, 81 when that happened. It's like, he already looked like hammered shit, literally like one eye going way over here, not sure who the fuck he's looking at.
Yeah, I wonder why he's worried about having breast implants.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you're literally paying her to fuck you. Shut up. Like, it's like you're on a website for, what do you call someone who has a sugar daddy? What are they called? What is the girl called?
A treat.
Gold digger.
Gold digger, yes, but like if sugar daddy is from her side, what is the opposite called? I don't think I've ever thought about that. Do a Google search. Do a Jefe search. Let's see if that comes up. But either way, the whole point was, it's what Jessica wants. Jessica wants a sugar daddy. But I told her, I was like, well, I guess, she's not fake. Too late now, I guess, He's not looking to have kids or anything. He just wants a companion to finish out his life. And he wants to die at 95. Specifically wants to die at 95. That's it. He has it written on the wall. I'm going to live till I'm 95, no matter what it takes. And I'm going to die at 95 by suicide booth or old age. He's literally talks about at that point because Sweden was the only place doing suicide booths.
Okay, Sugar Baby.
Sugar Baby. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know why I'd never put that together, but that makes sense.
Do we want to know what my search was?
Yes, of course.
What's the hooker to a sugar daddy?
Okay, so we need to save all of your searches so that we can make a shirt at the end of the year. So I need to keep all your searches in mind and then have an image for all of them. And then at the end, I'm going to do a tour shirt of all your searches with all of the things.
And that was the first thing that popped up. Sugar Baby.
Like you said, you somehow know how to use it to its fullest degree.
You break the algorithm, you get it to work.
Yeah, your FBI guy is like, what the fuck is this?
It's so weird.
Why is this a fucking thing? All right. Either way, so yeah, King George is fucked up, but I mean, like, I felt a way about it at first. I'm like, damn it, they fucking sold it because I'm thinking that they're gonna sell it to just close, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, it's like you can't just shut down the Renaissance. I mean, you could. Look what they did to Camp Strake, but that's different. That was just a few hundred, Boy Scouts getting molested versus the Renaissance Festival where it's only a handful,
I don't know. Those overnights, they're nuts.
Yeah. Going back to nuts, huh? Oh, and they just built a whole new campground out there, too. Like a whole new ridiculous, villas you can rent and shit. Like hobbit holes almost.
Oh, man. That's neat.
Yeah, they did. I was looking at that. I was looking at their news, and I'm like, okay, it makes sense that they're investing.
$600 a night.
Probably. But, I mean, better than having an RV, I guess. If that comes with admission.
If it comes with admission and... you've got facilities there and everything to use. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be cool. Yeah. Stay there for the entire weekend. But if it's yours for the season, yeah, that'd be worth it.
That's a big buy.
If that's what it is. So there was a part of the documentary that pissed me off, and it was him just going off on shit. Like he's literally yelling at this general manager. He's like, well, how many tickets did we sell? And talking about before the season starts, right? So preseason tickets. He's like, okay, but how many people bought just these level of tickets? What's the percentage? What are the numbers? He's like snapping at them about this shit. And he's talking to this new girl, like literally, she's like in her 20s, like the assistant to the general. And he's like, do you know why they bought it? And she's like, or do you know why they buy it? And she's like, because what they want to say, because it's cheap. He's like yelling at her. And it's like, God damn, man. It's like, because even at this point, it was when everybody started bitching about the prices going up for everything in 2021, 2022, when they're basically having to make up for the COVID year that virtually nothing was there, right? And then they built that multi-million-dollar Pirates Cove bar and everything like that. So, I mean, it's not like they were really hurting for money. They're making hundreds of millions. And investing
nonstop. Good grief. Friends of mine, they're with the Trash Clan, and they're there every single year. And their season start to season beginning, their RVs out there.
Yeah.
So
do they roam or do they only go there?
They only go there.
Okay, because a lot of people roam to the other ones all year long.
No, but anytime we pull up, they just lift up their barrier. We back the van in, set up a tent, and we're good to go.
Nice. Do y'all go out there, Chad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We didn't go out this year, but yeah, we
went out.
Oh, I had the best day. I went out looking for a Irish coffee.
We heard.
Completely lost Amy for hours.
It's easy to do. She's short.
It was so wonderful. So I just wandered around happy.
I would like to point out he said he was happy because his wife wasn't with him.
Yeah, we got our...
This is like the cruise all over again.
Yeah.
Hey, that time she wasn't drunk.
You were.
No.
Oh, that's right. But you got your Irish coffee.
I got my Irish
because you couldn't find the thing you wanted as you settled for your coffee that you got was Irish.
Yeah.
You didn't want an Irish.
Oh,
coffee.
I stood in line and someone was like, if anybody wants an Irish coffee, I can make it now.
Yeah.
Sold.
Yep.
So no, I got my our wedding candles and everything there made. They got at one place. Yeah, they got them. We watched them make it and everything. We're like, oh, this is cool. And we got her a couple rings and everything there. So that's one of the things that we always love going back to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we go
have a stein and everything from there.
Yeah, we go almost every year.
She surprised me with a big, like 3-gallon cask, and so I'm gonna age some whiskey in it, and then after that I'm gonna swap out and do a batch of mead and age it in that same cask. So it should be real good.
Indeed. Now I want to go to the Renaissance Festival. I was like, and I know they
you
do.
Just want to wear a dress.
No, you are the one who wears the dress.
Yes, I do has kilt.
Yeah, your balls are flopping.
Probably.
Nutsack in the breeze.
And when you're in a hurry.
Yeah. I was going to say something like that.
No,
but
it sounds
great.
like the horses. It's kind of like a heartbeat.
A little bit.
It's like the heartbeat of a Time Lord.
2 hearts, yeah.
It's like they're just banging off your legs as you run through. It's uneven. I know what it was. On the show The Pit, a kid came in with severe testicular torsion, and I had to explain it to Jessica.
Oh dear.
That's what the thing was. Because I've experienced torsion before, but not to this degree.
I've not had that.
He had a full 180 rotation.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the nurse didn't know which way to turn it.
That's where they swell up to the size of a grapefruit, right?
It had only been for a little while, so it didn't get to that point. But when the nurse turned it, she turned it the wrong way.
Oh.
So she tightened it instead of loosening it. So
Lefty loosey!
lefty loosey, righty tighty, exactly. But I mean, you can't see it to know, right? You just know it turned 180, so you got to pick a direction. And only when the pain gets worse is the only really to know.
Yeah.
But he had been that way. He'd just been dealing with it as a teenager. I guess he was a basketball player or something. And they didn't go into the how. They went into the what. And then he said, "Yeah, so we might have to have surgery later just to make sure, just take a peek, make sure everything's still connected and good. Because last thing you want is a dead testicle floating about, But I've had it before, and I literally had to turn it, and that fucking hurt.
Ooh, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like I dealt with it for hours on end. I was like, oh god, what the fuck?
Don't do that.
Oh god! And then you fucking flip it back around. And I was just like get some ice. I was like, that fucking sucks. Like just getting kicked in the balls, which sucks bad enough.
Yes, it does.
But that is like a whole different level of pain. Guys, if you're out there and you've experienced testicular torsion,
you might be entitled to compensation.
Depending on your sugar, baby, yes. Okay, so let's talk about the thing that will make Jefe angry.
Here we go.
And I'm okay with this because I agree with you. I just not to your exact level of anger. But I agree with the point. So we didn't necessarily talk about it on the show, I don't think, but Shaun and I have discussed this. So here in Texas, a few months ago, they announced that they were beginning the construction of what is known as Epic City. Now, mind you, Epic is actually an acronym. That's not technically the name of it. But to get to the short and sweet of it, it is literally a Muslim outpost in Texas. A city for and only for Muslim people to inhabit. Everything would be designed to their degree of wanting things, and no normal people would be allowed in, basically, unless they have fully converted otherwise. Now, our Governor Hot Wheels, after some outcry of right before they were going to start construction, somebody went, wait a minute, how the fuck did we even get this far?
Yeah.
How the hell did we suddenly decide this? Now, they're taking legal routes to slow this down because it looks like a lot of the contracts are like, what the fuck is going on here? That's me dropping tweezers. So a post from Governor Abbott here says that Texas has halted any construction of Epic City. There is no construction taking place. The state of Texas has launched about half a dozen investigations into this project that includes criminal investigations in the U.S. State Department. I'm sorry. That was two sentences too close together. And the U.S. Department of Justice is also investigating. This matter and similar matters are taken very serious, and actions are being taken to address the concerns. Now, here's the thing. This is coming on the back of a post from a guy named John Ferguson, or John Whiskey Texas on Twitter. It says, alert, Epic City, Texas. Islamists are still building their Sharia law 400-acre city. That would be the big thing, is that they wanted to institute, of course, Sharia law, which I'll let you rant about that later, Jefe. Texans need to be aware Islam does not assimilate. We have been given a heads up that the developer of the mega Muslim city in Josephine, Texas, is fighting to have locals cover the cost of all water, sewer, drainage, and flood control services through property taxes. So they're going to tax the locals to pay for everything to be done for this. MUDs enable developers to finance large-scale infrastructure in undeveloped areas without city funding. MUDs may shift, that's municipal utility districts, by the way. MUDs may shift financial risk to future residents and operate with limited public oversight in early phases. Texans, we ultimately fund a portion of this project if they are not stopped. City council meeting is being held for Monday the 12th. I assume that means May. That would be today, actually, yes.
Now, where exactly is this?
Near Josephine, Texas.
Okay.
I'm not sure where that is, but, you know. Although not public agenda, some residents are attending with the hope to speak out against this Islamic sanctuary city, which is exactly what it would be, an Islamic sanctuary city built for them exclusively. Governor Abbott and AG Paxton previously announced the city was under investigation, would not go forward, yet Islam does not adhere to U.S. or Texas state law. Sharia is above all. Will Texas become the Islamic sanctuary state that these the way they wrote this, these Islamic imam have been speaking about? So I guess some of the imams have been preaching that there would be a sanctuary state for them in the United States somewhere. Islam is a militant ideology cloaked in religious rhetoric with a clear mandate to destroy the West. Bit by bit, a stealth jihad. Oh, there's a typo. Got this far, and there's a typo. A jihad is happening to Texas and America. What happens when they are more emboldened with a mega city in a small town, Texas? Now, mind you, 400 acres isn't that big, technically. However, it's too big.
Yeah.
So, I will express my opinion. Good. Stop it. Do not allow it to happen. Because if we wanted to set up a Christian state or city in a Muslim country, that wouldn't be allowed.
Nope.
And sure as fuck, if we wanted to set up a Jewish city, specifically in a Muslim-controlled country, that would definitely not be allowed for, I don't know, reasons. Just ask Gaza. So, Jefe, you are literally our most experienced correspondent in the area. I will let you rant, and I will decide later to what to remove.
And I really don't have a lot to write about. So far, it seems everything's going to be stopped.
Okay.
I can see many, many negative ramifications from allowing a sanctuary city like this to be built. Let alone, harboring, training, furthering the education and status of any extremists, any extreme organizations in the area. The how do I put this in a way that doesn't sound psycho?
I don't think I will edit out anything that sounds psycho. How about that? You just
one of the
say
tenets
things.
of Islam is to convert or kill the non-believers, and they will do this by any means necessary.
Yeah.
They will be capturing women. They will be capturing young children, young boys.
Yeah.
And either converting them or abusing them and then trying to convert them.
So we already talked about what happened in the UK.
Yeah.
And what is currently happening all over the place, although the UK is starting to finally turn around.
In Wales, I saw that dude pissed off.
Yeah. So people are starting to rise up against it, realistically, which is all you can do, unfortunately. And mind you, we're not trying to be racist shitheads on this show. We're merely talking about sheer facts. There are perfectly peaceful, perfectly nice Muslims that don't follow all of the beliefs of Islam. They just want to live their life and worship the gods they want to worship, but they don't need the join or die part. I like those people. I'm fine with those people. A lot of those people are very Americanized.
Some.
Or very westernized. They don't believe in the extremist part, especially not the terrorist part that exists. But if you're talking about establishing a city, a whole ass city, walls and everything, because that's part of it, like a walled off city, for these people to strictly inhabit and no one is allowed in other than them, and they have their own laws within it. I mean, technically the Amish do it, but I don't know if the Amish want to kill people over a barn.
Well, it's the religious fundamentalist sect that is the problem. If they build that city, they are going to be the ones that are, going to be running everything, going to be dictating what they do, going to be dictating the direction of the people there.
Yeah.
These are the same individuals that took over in Afghanistan.
Yep.
And did everything they could to push America out to that radicalized that nation once again, that so many fucking lives were given to at least stop.
Yeah. And we would allow the people that we basically spent 20 years fighting to just set up a home base inside.
No,
if anywhere, Texas. Like, How the fuck did that get so far in this state?
Moreover, do you think that the denizens of the surrounding areas would allow that to happen?
I would think that they would try to protest it, and they would, if depending on who's in charge in the area, they would treat them like criminals for protesting it. Just like everywhere else in the world that has decided that because Muslims come from a war-torn area, usually due to their religious fundamentalists causing wars, weird, they take pity on them, and therefore you are the racist piece of shit for not allowing your male children.
In small town America, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, no, but
I don't see that happening at all.
But you know what they're hoping for? They're hoping for the response like Ireland and the UK.
Yeah.
Where they can just come in and take over, and because your government, and once again, this is where they somehow got stupid when it came to Texas. It was like, first of all, this is Texas. We like freedom and all that. However, you don't get to come in here and basically do what they did there.
Set up a training camp.
Set up a training camp where you literally rape is legal because it's part of their marriage laws.
Murder, stoning.
Yeah, but look at it this way: the reason that things were going the way they were over there, and even in Afghanistan, animals and boys don't count towards any sinning when it comes to sexual needs. Women are only for reproduction, so you can have sex with anything and everything else, and you're not sinning. So they can kidnap and train little boys to be sex slaves for their whole fucking thing, and let alone what they do to little white girls who don't count towards their religion.
Yep.
You know, so you can't have that here. You shouldn't have it anywhere. If I'm not saying they need to be wiped out by any means. They need their own place where they won't fuck up anything other than themselves. Cool. Let them have somewhere that nobody gives a fuck about, and let them do what they want to do. And if they get out of hand,
they have a place nobody gives a fuck about. It's called Afghanistan, Iraq.
Yeah, but they don't have the whole part of it because the Jews exist.
They got a whole bunch of space out there to do their stupid, crazy, psycho inbred shit.
But the Jews, because remember, part of it is that they have to wipe out all the Jews. And that the world will be so much on their side that the rocks and trees will cry out there is a Jew behind me, come kill them. That is part of their shit. They literally want the extinction of the Jews. It's like, hey, remember those other people who wanted the extinction of the Jews? What did we do against them? I forget.
Yeah, we shot them a lot.
Technically speaking, yes.
One particular dude got shot twice. In a bunker. Yeah.
Well, eventually in 1968, died in Argentina. I'm really starting to believe Hitler did not kill himself in a ditch. I'm like, the more I hear about it, I'm like, that sounds really fucking real. By the way, have we talked about the Confederate state in Brazil?
Oh, no.
Have we not talked about that here on the show?
Let's touch base on that. Let's do some research.
Oh, no, it's a fun one. I can just tell you how it is. So, you know, already Argentina has a massive German/Nazi area, right? We know how that happened. Apparently, during the Civil War, there were people who said, we ain't fucking siding with no Northerners, and just moved to fucking Brazil.
Nice.
There's a whole town that was set up that is literally just people from the Confederate States that said, fuck it, I'm going to move somewhere else.
I've seen some of that. Now there are all these indigenous South Americans that are just speaking German.
Yeah, but these people are this area. They fly the Confederate flag. They fly the fucking stars and cross, and their whole area. I mean, it's a mix of South American and American.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing. I think they're called not Confederales, but something along those lines. I did not know that was a fucking thing, and I was just like, "What?" I was like, "You're shitting me." And then they looked it up. Is either on Rogan or on.
Well, then down in Argentina and even in Bolivia somewhere, there's a lot of German towns.
Well, we know that because they
tons of them.
They established a base over there for fucking Pacific uses. Mm-hmm. You know, and they, of course, a lot of the scientists and higher ups escaped Argentina. We know that in history. That was world history. This is American history that nobody fucking realizes, that there's still a town or a small area in Brazil that still basically, they don't act like it's the fucking 1800s still, but they live by the original Confederacy. Because they said, fuck it. You know?
Yeah, we're out.
Yeah. Also, I learned this week, there was only between like 3 and 5% of Confederate states, like the people who live there, own slaves. That's it. Thank God we went to that war, though. I want to know what the percentage of the Union states. I want to know what the percentage in the North was when it came to slave ownership, because I have a feeling it was more.
Oh, it's more of that the winners always write history, and
yeah, but I mean, also part of the winning strategy was what Trump is talking about doing with habeas corpus, but he did it to basically give safe passage so that they could bring people to Washington, D.C. to face things, and they needed to make sure that they could arrest anybody along the way who fucked with them. Mm-hmm. But people forget about that. Trump just wants to do it for illegals, criminals specifically, so we can get them the fuck out of the country and not have to deal with anything that we're dealing with now. We're already trying to fight the sanctuary cities across the country, the standard ones that just allow illegals to come and set up. Mm-hmm. And now we're dealing with like an entire culture, not just somebody from South America, an entire culture, and making it a monoculture city. Not like it's downtown Austin or something and it's a mix of everybody. A 400-acre city to begin with that is nothing but a singular culture with one ideal that do not want to assimilate, do not want to bring in anything, and like you said, have some extremist ideology that will lead to the death of people who don't follow their way of life.
Right.
And I guarantee you the rednecks of that area, probably just about anybody, because you think they're just going to go over to Walmart nearby and be fine? Or you think that like a cashier says something wrong at a store, that dude's going to slap her, beat her, stone her to death because they believe they only want to obey Sharia law, not the United
the things we can't talk about will probably happen.
Like what?
We can't talk about them.
We can.
We're not allowed to.
That's what editing is for. We can talk about it. I was
told I'm not supposed to anymore. You give me weird looks.
Well, it depends, because I can always edit anything. That's why the show is not live.
Singling me out.
I mean, you were the one making particular calls to action.
I'm not supposed to.
I know, you're not supposed to. But, I mean, at least there should be legal ramifications if such things happen. But if they don't obey the law, who cares?
Right.
It's a lot like what some of the other shit we're dealing with right now is literally like, hey, we have a law. It's set forward by the Constitution, and the president's trying to uphold it. And you literally have people going, no.
Yeah.
People in Congress, people in the Senate, people in fucking judges. There they go, no. We don't like that, therefore it's unconstitutional.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
At least in this case, this is literally unconstitutional. You can't set up a new religion.
Yeah, then expecting a lot of the construction and the water power to be subsidized. And
you subsidize it through the community. And
no.
Are they going to? My question was, are they going to pay for anything inside their own city?
Exactly.
Were they going to pay for their own homes? We're building a literal sanctuary. So who was going to pay? I mean, mind you, the actual images look pretty cool. I wouldn't mind that. But, it's like, when do we just get our own? I mean, by the way, speaking of it, a new city being formed, Starbase, Texas, is now a legal city.
Ooh.
Where Elon Musk has the rocket launches.
Oh, down in Brownsville?
Yeah.
Nice.
Or wherever it is, yeah. Down near Mexico. Yeah, that is now a fully incorporated city.
That's cool.
No, it's not. Because somebody brought up, they're like, yes, it's a really neat idea, until you realize that means there's a city council that has to be formed. You know who's on most city councils? Leftoids.
Yeah.
So anything that they don't want Musk to have the ability to do, they can vote on.
That's why you staff it.
I mean, you got a staff of people who live there, and if they open it as a city where people can move to, they're going to move there to stop him from doing shit. To be like, hey, I own this, right? Shut the fuck up.
Pretty much.
It's like King George.
Yeah.
It's like basically he is the mayor of his own tiny city.
Then instead of incorporating, they should have just declared it a sanctuary.
Sanctuary for
lift off sanctuary.
A sanctuary for rockets, right? I think
it's a rocket preserve.
Kind of. They store them there. They keep them there.
Then they let them fly free.
And then when they come back, they're like homing rockets. Actually, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Technically. Well, except for the ones that explode, those don't
homing.
No.
They go all over the place.
They do go all over the place, especially all over the Gulf.
Over there, up there.
They're everywhere. It's fine. And then the only other crazy news that happened over the last week was Pakistan and India deciding to shoot things at each other.
That's always fun.
Yeah, that's fun. World War III trying to kick off over there too, along with, we're nearly got shit settled in Ukraine, and then, whoopsie daisy, and then nearly have things settled.
So who fired first?
I think it was Pakistan.
Bad.
I think.
No.
I'm not stating that as a fact. I think. All I know is a whole lot of rockets have been fired back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had a peace treaty for literally 2 hours, and then Pakistan fired another rocket.
Whoops.
Psych.
However, that does.
What's this button do? Shit.
You know what's really funny is that happened in the same week that Trump announced that we were moving a lot of manufacturing from China to India.
Yep.
That was weird. And you know who's also a big fan of China? Pakistan.
Yes.
It's like they have mutual enemies. Neither one likes India. And they both don't like Trump that much. Pakistan has done some cool stuff over the decades when it comes to certain wars, but they've also done a whole lot of shitty things. But, you know, now that they're fighting with one of our kind of, like, mostly a trading partner and whatever, a lot of shit happens in India. But I will say a lot of robot calls ended for the last week, so I guess I'm not that upset. That's a meme, but it's also true.
Yeah.
I've noticed, like, no joke, like a lot of my scam calls have not happened in the last
I've
week.
filtered them so hard. I keep blocking every single one I get.
Yeah.
And it winnows them down over time.
Yeah. I've done that too, but I get so many scam texts, especially for my mom, about buying the property. I'm just like, maybe I should just try it.
They still want to talk to me about the property we sold 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, let's talk.
Sell it again. I don't have a deed, but give me $80,000 right now. I'll take
cheap. Let it go.
Yeah. And then set up a whole new account just with no money in it, just for that. They're like, we'll see if the money actually shows up.
Pablo Gutenberg.
Yeah. I still think it's funny that they send shit to me for my parents.
Yeah.
It's like it's literally addressed to my mom or my dad, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't own anything. I don't even live there. I don't even have mail that goes there anymore. Finally fixed that a couple years ago.
There you go. You're adulting.
I don't know what that flavor was. I guess breakfast and this beer.
A little bit of regret.
Yeah. Good beer, though. Very good beer from Martin House. I do like the dinosaur on the thing. I didn't show it on camera. It's pretty cool. Tree stars. I was like, yay, Land Before Time reference.
I like Martin House, but sometimes they tricked me. I got the sampler pack with all the different pickle beers, and those were god-awful. There's one or two in there that tasted okay. The rest are fucking awful.
Yeah, I remember that. You tried it. You want one? No.
I mean, that seems like that should have been a taste test video.
Yeah.
But didn't you still drink them, though?
I actually sent videos of my reactions to Heidi because it was making her laugh.
I would have loved to have done that one on camera. That would have been funny. We do need to do another taste test video.
The bread and butter was, ugh. Then they had
I would hate that.
Then they had a chamoy.
Oh, I remember this pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I tried one of them.
Yeah. The straight dill pickle was great. I was drinking
That's what I had. I didn't have the chamoy.
I was drinking Jameson along with it.
Oh, of course.
So it was great.
Pickleback.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, what are your favorite pickle flavored drinks, and which ones do you not want to touch? Let us know in the comments.
Give me a Kool-Aid pickle any day.
I've never had one. I've seen them done. I've just never had one.
Well, let me do a jar. We'll taste test them.
No thanks.
Grape or strawberry, watermelon.
Watermelon would probably be the way to go.
Yeah. That's Kool-Aid has no flavors. It's red or purple.
Yeah, actually, don't do Kool-Aid. Do liquid IV, so we actually get some extra stuff out of it. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for this episode. I know we covered the gamut of topics, but we had a lot of fun here. We had to get back to normal.
We got to get back in the swing, man.
We had like 3 weeks of totally random episodes, and the Easter episode came out 2 weeks late.
Yeah.
Which was really fucking weird. I'm sitting here like putting the episode up. I was like, oh crap! I know I had a description for this somewhere. Then I realized it was in the comments that I deleted from the video. And I'm like, shit! I lost the description.
Maybe next week we'll split up the ingredients and make some donkey shows.
We need to find out what they all were because we don't even know how to make it.
Okay, we'll go visit Megan.
Yeah, we need to find out from Megan. I friended her on Facebook.
Good.
Yes. So either way, what was I saying? You got me off topic there. I forgot what
the squirrel.
What was I saying? Oh, the Easter thing. Literally, I was listening to it on Friday, and I'm like, it's been so long since I edited this video. I don't even remember what we said or did.
Right.
I was just like, I know it was right after Easter, and you couldn't breathe. Because
that was a bad episode.
Yeah, that was a bad episode.
He was sitting there. Hi.
Yeah, literally.
I would look at you and I watched it and she was like,
no, we stopped to just stare at you.
Yeah.
You checked the fuck out. You're just like,
that was a good like what? 10,
I think the Benadryl kicked in. Yeah, that was funny. All right,
that's one of the reasons I bailed the next week because I wasn't going to be looking like that again on camera.
Exactly.
I felt just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah, but we had a good time with Jefe. It was fine.
Then I had to take over, and that wasn't very good. That's my fault.
By the way, Chad, we need you to make a new cutout. We need a chod.
Jefe?
We need a chod.
A chod?
Chod.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need a slightly shorter stand-in of you.
Okay.
So when you're not here, we can.
So to be
Make fun of me?
Yeah.
So to
We
be
can make you be mean and racist.
Yeah. or extremely girly. We'll see what happens. We can make you extremely girly. We want that.
That ain't funny.
It's not you. It's your alter ego.
I know.
But either way, no, we discussed that last week. And then we need a skinny version of me that knows nothing about anything.
No, you got to be fat.
No, I'm already fat. I would like to see myself 30 pounds.
Yeah, no shit. So would I.
No. Not actually weight skinnier, like compressed.
Oh, like
compressed, and
like
stretched.
Magic Mirror.
Yeah, like that fucked up. But then again, I would never not be here.
The face of me all
there's no
squished
point.
in.
You're gonna be the one that's doing this.
You look like you had Down syndrome.
I already do. Either way. So guys, make sure you do the like and subscribe thing. Of course, go check out all my show. Oh, I forgot the fucking announcement.
What announcement?
We have an official IG now.
We have the Instagrams.
We have an Instagram. I forgot. I've got to add it. It's Nymea_pod.
Okay.
On the Instagrams.
Okay.
It's added to the links down below. I just forgot to announce it at the beginning of the show.
Add it to the list.
Well, I mean, yes. Yeah, so I actually set it up there. So now all Nymea related things, and it's connected to the Facebook, which was a fucking trip to fucking make happen because I had to disassociate it from my stuff, and then it accidentally associated to my other page that I don't do anything with. So for a minute there, the Nymea Pod IG was connected to the This Idiot Doesn't Know How to Park Facebook page. So either way. So guys, make sure you follow us over on the IG. Definitely got a whole bunch of new follows who are definitely shirt vendors. That's great. And with that,
okay, bye.